I was able to set up the scene changes from OBS right here. That's pretty cool. Check it out. Bah! Oh, wait. Ow, I can't show the chapter. One sec. I can't show the chapter. Hold up. We're live. I can't show that. Ugh. What do you mean? I scheduled this 1 hour ago. Cammy? Wait, no. This has been scheduled. Yeah, this has been scheduled the whole time. This is the usual time. Hi, Ellie. Yeah, this is the usual time. Well, yeah, yesterday I was a little bit busy, and when I was gonna do my unannounced stream, I realized Wiz was live. It's like, oh, I probably shouldn't overlap with him. No, yeah, but I scheduled today's. I'm pretty sure I scheduled this stream like 8 hours ago, maybe. I might be wrong. I don't hear music. Do you guys hear music? I hear it now. Wait, you guys didn't get a notification? Hi, Ellie. Well, check it out. It was a really important stream too. Okay, it's all good. Yeah, I don't want to overlap. Check it out. But with the power of OBS, look at that. I can now go to, what's up? Check it out. With the power of OBS. Bah! 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 Oh shit, wrong one. Bah! Look at that. With the power. Look at that. We can just change whenever we want now. Hi, Ellie. I haven't gotten any notifications for your stream for the last week or so. Oh shit, really? Well, no, yesterday we ended up just doing it off stream. But the one, what's today? Tuesday or Wednesday? The one on Monday, I think I scheduled the one from 2 days ago. Yeah, that one I'm pretty sure I scheduled, but this one I know I scheduled like a little over 8 hours ago. I scheduled it before I went out. Ellie, do you want to go out? Here. Come on. Okay, say bye. Say bye. Hi. Say bye. We're gonna go for like 2 hours, okay? Say bye. I love you. Alright, go outside. Ooh. There's no announcement on Discord from mods either? Oh shit, really? Yeah, that was on me. Oh. Okay. Let's fix this. Sorry, I guess I forgot. We'll try to lock in when the streams are announced. No, it's all good. All right, don't worry. We're gonna start right now. Give me a sec. Let me fix my sock and I'll put chat right now on screen. I realize it's not up. All right. Let me kind of just get a little cozy. Fucking hot, man. I need to put on some basketball shorts. God damn, I'm fucking sweating like a mother trucker. Hold up. I think I need a change. Hold up. Let me just get chat ready before we start. So I only need to stall for like 1 more minute. Give me a sec. Copy. Why does it say chat is disabled? There you go. All right, perfect. And now we can also just start our recordings and pause from within OBS. Isn't that fucking crazy? I'm like finally utilizing OBS to its full potential. Check this shit out. It's fucking sick. All right, give me a sec. Let me just find shorts. Give me a sec. Music change. We're leveling up. Okay. Got it. All right. So, and what was it? At one. Okay. All right. Check it out. Check it out. Check it out. Check it out. Now I don't even have to interact with the top screen anymore. Holy shit. Are you guys ready? Look, check it out. Check it out. Check this out. Are you guys fucking ready? All right, here we go. Look, I'm gonna change. Bah! Wow, that is so cool. Look at that. So fucking. I can't get over that. Hold up, man. Let me make the room at least a little bit nice in here. Let's just close the closet. Let's kind of clean up so it looks nice and clean in here. All right. And now we read. So music change is in like 3-4 chapters. Oh shit. Okay. All right. If you want, you can DM it to me on Discord. Let me open up Discord already, Cammy. And then once we get to that chapter, I'll open it up. Let me just open up Discord before we start. I don't know if you guys noticed, but our last few videos, they've been in 1440p. So the hopefully the quality looks a little bit better. Let me mute this for a sec. Yeah, I noticed Ellie's hair was kind of all over the place on the last video. I'm like, ew, the mic was, oh my god, Discord's not fucking opening up. All right, never mind. Discord's not working. We won't be able to use that. So I'm gonna just close the window. All right, now we're just gonna start recording from right here. Check this out. You guys ready? We're not gonna stall the one. We're jumping straight into it. And let me just put Spotify over here. I'd rather be able to see all of OBS, even though we don't need to interact up here. But here we go. Here we go. Yeah, look. Are we recording? Oh, we're recording. Look at that. Alaska Montes in chat. We started recording from our stream deck. Check it out. Check it out. I'm going to pause the video before we start our intro. Holy shit. Yo, the pause button works on this stream deck. Yo, this is so cool, dude. Check it out. 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 Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, that's so tight. Look, look, look. Oh, pause. That's so cool, dude. Oh, that's so sick. All right. You know what we're here to read. It's not a new song anyways. Okay. Okay. If it's in a music domain. Oh, wait. I can't even access music domain. Okay. Well, yeah, let me know. We'll look up the song. On this beautiful, glorious day, as you ignore this ingrown hair I have right here, we're going to be reading another glorious chapter. No, more than one chapter. Today, we are resuming from 1,000 plus. All right? We are 71% done with this. I got to wait 3 more seconds before I swear, just to be safe. We are 29% away from finishing this bitch, man. I am pumped. I am excited. I am about to lose control. We need 1,001. We need to read 1,001 through 1,400 and something, give or take. So we're literally done in like less than 500 chapters, which is crazy. But on this beautiful, glorious day, we're resuming from chapter 1,001. We have Bros Evolving. We have evolved. But before we evolve even further, we cannot forget our honorific name. Hello. What's up, love? Hello to everybody that's tuning in right now. The reader who stalls for eternity, the tamer of beasts and dogs, the one who farms, LOTM. Easy Geeky is here today. By the way, Easy Geeky, let's quickly pause this. Check this out. There's someone in chat that keeps spoiling every day, but Wiz doesn't want to ban her on his stream because it's his first viewer. Oh wait, is there a person spoiling? Well, as long as there's no spoilers here, I think we're good. As long as there's no crazy spoilers here, I think we're okay. Because so far, we've only been muting people. Whether legit everyday mods have to delete her messages. She did it here as well. Who? Oh shit, I don't remember who it is. Well, I mean, right now we're okay. As of right now, we're okay. If it resumes, I mean, we'll talk about it. But I think right now we're good. 15 all the counts. No, but right now we're good. I haven't read any crazy spoilers yet. So I think we're okay as of right now. I mean, if it continues in the future, we'll probably bring it up. But as of right now, we're okay. We don't have to prematurely do anything. I know we've have muted people in the past, whether it's an accidental spoiler or an intentional spoiler. I mean, I think the only time we've ever actually banned people were trolls a while ago. I don't know if you guys remember that. But we'll wait just a little bit more. But I think right now we're okay. At least the last 2 times I remember interacting with them, they've been pretty okay. But we'll see where it goes. But for now, chapter 1001, first moment. Ooh, check the pause button. Shit, that's so fucking cool. Let me do my timestamp. But yeah, no, in all seriousness, Cammy, if it does resume, like if spoilers keep on happening, whether it's intentional or unintentional, we'll probably talk about it. But I think right now we're okay. But if it does become a hassle, we'll late again. No, it's okay. I had a delay stream by like 10 minutes also, so we're okay. We're in the same boat. Chapter 101, first movement. When the wraith in front of him was gone, Emily White. The next 4 episodes, apparently. How much we reading today? I don't know, man. It's like, he's talking about himself being late, I think. Oh, okay. But it's like, dude, it's like, apparently, there's already, like, today is like episode 11 Wraith Fight. I'm like, whoa! Or episode 10 Wraith Fight. I was like, whoa! I don't want to see this. Like, there's already stuff like that's coming up on social media that I don't want to look at. There's some people, apparently there's already a trailer for season 2. I just left them a bookmark. We'll look at it probably after we're done. Yeah, there's a lot of leaks. We'll probably have to wait a month. So I'm probably gonna have to be off Twitter for a month. Or when I do go on Twitter, I'm gonna be on Twitter for like 2 minutes and then I'm out. Just like that. With like just how we're gonna hit this pause and play button. I'm gonna disappear and reappear just like this. Like that. Nah, it's the scene post credits of episode 13. Okay, so they're just end credits. Okay, that's good then. Not gonna lie, I stopped episode 5. It's crazy. No season 2 trailer. Okay, all right, okay. So it just I find it crazy. There's like all this shit going around. People were I did, full disclaimer, I did look at a cropped picture of the smile, right? Well, not like the smile scene, but like at least on the makeup scene, you know, because you know we're trying to perfect our clown makeup. I got all the makeup ready except for blue. The missus told me she has blue face paint or like blue eyeshadow, whatever the fuck it is. I mean, you've read volume 1, so it doesn't matter for... Well, I know it doesn't matter, but I don't want to see what the shot looks like. That's how nitpicky I am when it comes to spoilers. I don't even want to see like what the frame looks like, because at least Username, he helped me out. He put a spoiler over the second image, even though he cropped it out. He's like, this is the exaggerated small part. I didn't look at that part. I just wanted to see like how the makeup went. But you know what? Before I stall forever, let's chapter 1000. Fuck yeah, Wiz. Yo, Wiz. You better fucking wear clown makeup on episode 13, because I'm wearing it, bro. I got my makeup ready. I'm fucking locked and loaded. I got 1 month to perfect the clown makeup. I'm ready, bro. I'm gonna take out the suit and tie again. I'm gonna get the top hat, and I'm gonna be wearing the clown makeup. Klein wears it then. Oh, it's gonna be badass. Hopefully I don't cry too much while I'm wearing the makeup. I probably will, but we'll see how it goes. All right, when the wraith in front of him was gone, Emlyn White retracted his gaze, united under the threat of the Doiser, and pulled out the documents inside. Hey, yo, man, I heard you had a crazy stream yesterday, by the way. IDK, who you think I am, but I ain't that guy. We can do it. You need to go from pregnant cosplay to clown cosplay in the same episode. Cammy, you got yourself a deal, brother. I'm a clown in my heart every day. You know, man, that's how I am waiting for more Kingdom Hearts news. I always feel like a clown wearing clown makeup every time there's a game conference. As he read through them, Emlyn had a rough idea of Ernie Boyer's routine. This Sanguine Viscount had a routine which was rather random, staying at home or visiting exhibitions, partaking... Wait, I feel like the music's too loud. Okay. Or visiting exhibitions, partaking in wine tasting at Madison City outskirts, shopping at department stores with female companions, or sketching female models. He was like the typical wealthy man. What a way to live. Must be good for him. Typical wealthy man. However, Ernest had recently been visiting St. George Borough every other day to monitor the renovations of the furniture factory he had invested in. It was a bid to ensure that it could quickly resume work. This way, the Sanguine Viscount's lifestyle became repetitive. The places he visited, the paths he took, and the places he had lunch were repeated every other day. Bro is living the life. He is living the life. Emlyn pressed down on his temple, seriously filtering out 3 venues which were suitable for the operations. Don't sell yourself short. No. We're all good in our heart. The first was inside
or at the entrance of the furniture factory owned by Ernie's brother. The second was St. Harold Square, where he stopped along the way home for a meal and fed the birds. Wow, I can't read when I'm live. Wow, I just realized that. I was so calm, but I'm so excited hanging out with you guys. Wow, so weird. It's so weird. Now that like I experienced that off-stream read-through. Wow, okay. The third place was wow, you see, wow, I'm doing it again, man. It's crazy. The third place was Backland Bridge. Unless Ernest was willing to take a huge detour, he had to pass by this area when traveling between his home and St. George Borough. Off-stream read? Yesterday. I read like 3-4 chapters. The one I published earlier today. Just because I didn't want to overlap with Wiz. But it was just like 4 chapters. You dare read off-stream? It was just 4. It was just chill, slow. These 3 spots met the requirements of having plenty of people, making it chaotic. However, Backland Bridge had too few entrances and exits. With the 2 ends locked down, one can only leave by jumping into the river, an act only chosen by idiots. St. Harold Square comes under the St. Harold Cathedral, core to the Church of the Seaman Backland, and even wow, I cannot read. I need to go get some freaking caffeine, dude. It can effectively prevent even the entirety of Loan. It's akin to the second Holy See. It meets Mr. Hangman's suggestion. It can effectively prevent conflicts from escalating, and it can interfere with any other subsequent divination and investigations. Emily gradually had an inclination, and once a living being had an inclination, they would unknowingly seek more reasons to affirm their choices, and Emily was no exception. Without a doubt, the more he thought about it, the more he was convinced that St. Harold Square met almost all the requirements. First, Ernest wouldn't stay in the closed area for too long. He wouldn't have lunch at a restaurant while civilist cuisine, since he was born in Civilis County. Secondly, there were several tracked carriages stopped in the vicinity, making the area filled with traffic on foot. With most of them being people from the lower middle class, accidents often happen. Thirdly, with the origin, one would enter the area south of the bridge if one didn't head for the Backland Bridge. It would then be closely to the Harvest Church. Finally, at noon, St. Harold Cathedral would spew steam, turn its levers and chime a clock. It was inevitable for everyone's attention to be attracted. It's confirmed. Emlyn quickly made up his mind, raised his right hand and adjusted his bow tie. His red eyes were filled with anticipation. At this moment, he suddenly frowned, sensing that something wasn't right. He's plotting. It is good, dude. St. Harold Square was just she's gonna do it here. St. Harold Square was just perfect for the job. It was just so suitable that almost all the conditions were met. Will Ernest be wary against my revenge? Why would he allow himself to stay in such an environment for such long periods of time? Even if he's stupid enough to not realize it, wouldn't the Earls warn him? The corners of Emlyn's mouth curled up slightly as he understood the reason. St. Harold Square, it's a test. St. Harold Square was at the venue where the Sanguine upper echelons had designated for him. Emlyn chuckled, keeping his mouth curled. He decided to request Mr. Fold to have a gathering for a few members and also invite Mr. Hangman to discuss the plan in detail. This was different from the framework that they had previously decided upon. They needed to consider every detail and consider every problem. At 15 minutes to 12, St. George Borough, St. Harold Square, in a private room in the 3rd story or a restaurant northwest of the square, a figure stood in front of the window holding a cup filled with scarlet blood-like liquid. He was leisurely looking at a fountain nearby, and the crowds came and went. Can't put some light action music now? Bet. I think that's a good idea. We'll just play this for now. This is catchy. This song is catchy. This is some good light action music. Alright, this is light action music before we ramp up to chapter 1000. And what was it for? Thank you, Cammy. After 15 minutes, we've read this. In a private room in the 3rd story filling of a restaurant northwest of the square, a figure stood in front of the window holding a cup filled with scarlet blood-like liquid. He was leisurely looking at the fountain nearby and the crowds that came and went. He was a lanky person wearing a formal suit meant for banquets. His light-colored hair was nearly silver, and his bright red eyes combined together to give him a sense of coquettish. At the end of the chapter? Okay. Coquettish handsomeness? I've never said that word in my life. There was a constant, faint smile lingering in his lips. My lord, will it really be fine? Emlyn seemed to be different from before. This can be seen from his recent hunt from the primordial moon believers. A middle-aged man in a dark suit walked into the window and said with a hint of worry. The man who had politely addressed cast his gaze at the square where Emlyn White stood. He was listening to the violinist busking on the street as he chuckled. I like how, as I said that, we hear the violins playing. Our preparations are enough even against a demigod, much less a kid who hasn't even become a viscount. Besides, we don't really need... I'm sorry, is this going to be the fight? Two sanguines facing off against each other? Besides, we don't really plan on doing anything serious. Our only goal is to identify and make confirmations. This is a lot simpler than previous certain people from escaping. As he spoke, the man with the light hair and bright red eyes raised his right hand slightly, rotating the ring on his left ring finger. The ring was made of silver, and embedded in it was a strange gem with a ghostly blue hue. On a carriage driving towards St. Harold Square, Ernest Bohr had his right hand over his left. He naturally rotated the ring on his ring finger that had a ghostly blue gem embedded in it. He casually looked out the window and saw a trackless carriage slowly drive over from afar. A paper boy slightly taller than 160 centimeters had a sling bag across his chest as he pedaled his papers along the street. Quite a number of bicycles that had replaced the carriages that were often seen last year. Okay, so more people have bikes now. They darted through the crowds in St. George Borough. Here, the number of workers wearing light blue or grayish blue uniforms with hats had far exceeded the number of people in former suits and top hats. Ernest retracted his gaze as he chuckled. He had no fear about what will happen next. He even looked forward to it. He believed that he had made enough preparations. He wore oath of rose on his left hand. It allowed him to share what he saw, heard, and smelled with Earl Mistral from a distance away. It made sure that nothing would go wrong while ensuring that their objective was met. Okay, it's gonna be a good fight. In his inner pocket, where his silver pocket watch was, there was a moon paper figurine. This could suffer a single lethal blow or an attack that targeted his soul body. It ensured that he wouldn't suffer any serious injuries or death within a short span of time. I'm gonna go get in bed. The song is in general. If I fall asleep, which shouldn't happen, no, it's okay. Or for sure. Thank you. So it's in general. All right, bet. Short span of time. He also wore an alcohol nemesis, this is new. He also wore alcohol nemesis, a diamond brooch. It kept him brimming with energy, with lucidity in his thoughts. It raised his resistance against spells that acted on the body of heart and mind. By his waist was a belt named Moonlight Sash. It could effectively reduce sun and lightning damage. So the mystical items here were accumulated of Ernest's wealth, or were bestowed by Earl Mistral. It made sure that Ernest was a target that could hardly be quickly finished off or controlled. With the Sanguine Viscount's natural resistance against the nightmare-type influences, Ernie was nearly without weaknesses. Even against a demigod, he can put up a fight as long as the latter didn't reveal their mythical creature form. The only problem is that the negative effects of all these mystical items are quite excessive. Ernie's facial muscles twitched, but he quickly composed himself. The Oath of the Rose were to make his thoughts appear in Earl Mistral's mind from time to time, and if he kept wearing it for a week without removing it, the pair who'd had the match's rings might very well end up in love, regardless of the gender of the race. The moon paper figurine was an expandable item. It had nearly zero side effects, apart from making the body slightly cold. The alcohol nemesis brooch's problem was that it would deal continuous damage to one's liver and brain. If it was worn for excessively long periods of time, it might result in one losing one's thoughts and logical reasoning, okay? You start losing control slowly. Therefore, one had to take it off for 15 minutes after every half an hour of equipping it. Once Moonlight Stash was worn, it made all senses much sharper, making it easy for one to see and hear things one shouldn't see or hear. At the same time, the wearer wouldn't feel itchy or intermittent intervals. Let's hope that they don't cower in fear and that this doesn't drag on. Ernest Barr checked on the condition once again, casting his gaze of anticipation at St. Harlan Square entrance nearby. I read that so wrong. Bro's too confident in his defense. He's like, I got this, bro. On the other end of the St. Harold Hareland Square, Emlyn White, who was taking in the sights of the buskers of the streets, suddenly looked up at a bird that flew over. That's fucking Amon, man. The second I see a random animal just flying in our vicinity, that's Amon. That's literally all I'm thinking about now. Like, what freaking animal have we seen from the beginning? That's just, oh, the fucking cat Brody. Oh, shit. Oh, Amon was Brody this whole fucking time. Oh, bro has Amon PTSD. Bro, Amon is fucking everywhere. I bet you Amon was fucking Brody in chapter 2. So now that we go back to the scene where Klein was feeding Brody, oh shit, there's like a whole nother layer to that scene. Oh, it's gonna be so good if that actually happens. On the other end of St. Harlan Square, I'm getting so hyped for no fucking reason. I'm getting hyped and we haven't even seen the build-up yet. Oh, I got hyped for a fucking bird. Suddenly he looked up at a bird that flew over. That's why I got excited. A fucking bird. Following that, he raised his hand to press down on his top hat. Bowing his head slightly, he briskly walked to the middle of the square, approaching the fountain. In the process, Emlyn's figure kept moving as he mixed into the crowd. However, this failed to avoid Earl Mistral's tracking. The sanguine Earl with silver hair rotated the ghostly blue gem ring on his left ring finger and coldly said, Take note, at the entrance of St. Harold Square, Ernie's boy grew increasingly pumped. He knew that the operation was just about to come finally. Emlyn still chose St. Harold Square after all. Ernie's cast his gaze out the window once more, warily watching the pedestrians on the street, trackless public carriages that were about to pass him, the ordinary paper boy who was peddling his papers, and the elegant window of the surrounding houses and shops. He didn't believe that Emlyn's potential partners were hiding in there, because there were even more better spots in St. Lynn Square that made it conducive to take action. However, he still kept up the required level of wariness. Suddenly, his body lunged forward lightly as he nearly got out of his seat. The carriage he was on had stopped without any warning. Right on the heels of that, the horses that pulled the carriage seemed to be in a nightmare as they raised their front hooves, struggling wildly, flipping the carriage to the ground. During this process, Ernie's boy actually had ample space this time and strength to help the carriage driver control the berserk horse. However, he didn't do so because he was a transparent wolf-shaped specter jump. Wait, what? Merrick? He didn't do so because he saw a transparent wolf-shaped spectator jump over from the outside window. It had thrown a rose within its body. A rose. Ernie's boy's eyes widened as the carriage toppled. He hurriedly jumped to the side and ran out of the carriage and as he made an illusory and incorporeal black chain extend out of his void, it wrapped around the wolf-shaped spectator. That's so cool, dude. With a soft poof, the wolf-shaped spectator dissipated without a struggle. And when Ernie's boy found his footing, he stood up there motionless, his eyes turbid. He had already been pulled up into a deep sleep. In a trackless public carriage that passed him by, a black-haired, green-eyed young man wore a thin trench coat. His back was facing the middle of the street as he focused on reading a notebook with a green bronze hardcover. Did he rent the book? Around that, the other passengers were either reading the papers or chatting. Some were looking out of the berserk horse quickly recovered. With a whoosh, the black-haired, green-eyed man flipped to the page of the notebook. The trackless carriage continued forward and gradually distanced itself. Not spectator, bro? Well, let's keep reading, man. Chapter 102. Now, look, with the power of magic, I'm going to pause without even using OBS. That is so fucking cool, dude. So fucking sick. 17 minutes. No, 6. Oh, wait. Oh, I almost forgot to update this part. Actually, I almost forgot to update this part. Beautiful. And look at that. With the power of magic, we literally hit resume recording with our stream deck. That is wild. Chapter 102 is called Second Movement, St. Herlin Square in the northwestern corner at the third story of a restaurant. When the wolf spectator with a rose appeared in front of Ernie's bar, the silver-haired, scarlet-eyed minstrel retracted his gaze from Ernie's bar. Darkness fused from behind him as countless tiny bats flew within. Bribe. Just as the sanguine earl silently muttered this single word, he saw the toppled carriage, heard the neighboring of the horse, and smelled all kinds of smell. However, he wasn't able to instantly find the origin of disturbance and accident. At this moment, his vision darkened as his eyes seemed to lose the ability to take in light. The din in his ears also halted. Earl Mistral chortled inwardly as he immediately fused with the bats behind him. Rematerializing beside Ernie's bar, suddenly in his black vision, a point of light appeared. This point of light rapidly expanded as it grew brighter and brighter. A gold figure with 12 pairs of pitch black wings walked out of it. These pairs of wings spread out, blanketing Mistral's vision. Pairs of wings? Causing the light and darkness to mix, this created mysterious and complicated symbols that didn't differentiate themselves within the golden figure. It was both holy and corrupted, both light and dark. That sounds badass. Stream sequence updated again? Yeah, it did. It did. Stream updated. Angel. Minstrel's pupils widened slightly as he couldn't help but take a step back, terminating his previous thoughts. In confusion, Ernie's boy rapidly snapped awake when he saw a pair of limpid eyes that resembled crystalline gems or a lake. He felt a copy of newspapers being stuffed into his hand. Next page. Angel Aura Farm. With the Stream Deck, I mean, yeah, dude, we literally upgraded with Stream Deck. I was watching a video the other day, and the streamer kept doing this, touching a Stream Deck, and I noticed the scenes would change or like the recording would pause. I'm like, this bitch is doing everything from a Stream Deck. And I'm just using mine to open up my notes. It's like, let me utilize it to its full capabilities. And we leveled up a sequence. In those emerald green eyes were ripples. Deep within the emanating ripples were twirling of a his eyes, wait. His eyes are twirling? Deep within the emanating ripples were twirls of a vortex that seemed to suck the soul of anyone who laid their eyes on them. Ernie's boy instantly became engrossed in it as he couldn't move his eyes away. Then he heard a gentle and ethereal female voice in his ears. Take this newspaper and follow Emlyn White. Take this newspaper and follow Emlyn White. This voice was littered as it resounded with Ernie Barr's ears. It drilled into his brain, sinking deep into his heart. Ernie Barr's nodded in the daze, sensing that there was more, but he couldn't hear it clearly. The paper boy, with a sling bag diagonally across his shoulder, swiftly turned around and agilely passed through the bicycles, mixing into the crowd that came and went. This boy had a pretty face as his messy hair dropped down and hid his brows. I'm sorry, are we calling Merrick pretty? Does Merrick have a pretty face? Messy hair dropped down and hid his brows as he walked. He took off a black fishnet glove that he had worn at some point in time. Wait, no. Did I say Merrick? I'm sorry. He had worn at some point in time, stuffing into his sling bag filled with newspapers. As the wind blew, his clothes shrank at the spot of his exposed arm protruded out. It's not Merrick. Yeah, protruded out. After a few seconds there, Ernie's boy suddenly jumped back from where he stood, doing so as though he had been trying to dodge something. No good. I was influenced by the nightmare's ability. Just as he found his footing, his pupils dilated as he looked around surroundings in a state of high alert, prepared for an impending attack. Although Ernie's boy was perplexed about how easily he was pulled into a dream, he knew that it wasn't time to consider the details. What followed next was key. He couldn't afford the distance ring. It's a Terry Club operation. No, it's Leonard. I was like, pretty? Hold up. And he's covering his eyes. No, green eyes. No, yeah, that's Leonard. Ring. A few bicycles passed him as they used their bells to warn the gentleman in the middle of the road to make way. Ernie's boy narrowed his eyes as he glared at him, his muscles under his clothes ready to deliver their might. Those few bicycles circled around him as pedestrians came and went, some slowing down their footsteps and pointing their fingers. Gong, gong, gong. Gong? Gong, gong, gong. Gong, gong, gong. 12 gongs. 12 gongs were heard at the... 12 gongs. 12. 12 gongs were heard as the white steam spewed out from the chimney. Wait, that was Audrey? Well, he did say he wanted to talk to Audrey, right? And she, well, you know, she did say that, oh, this is going to be my first mission. Never mind, she did talk about that. 12 gongs were heard as the white steam spewed out from the chimneys of St. Harold Cathedral. The holy hymns of praise resounded as the gears and levers got to work. On the square, everyone stopped in their footsteps. At the holy movement, they either closed their eyes in prayers or were listening silently, regardless of whether they were believers of the God-saving machinery or not. Only the pigeons that were being fed flew up and soared into the sky. Amon is one of those pigeons. Gong, gong, gong. As the gong sounded, no one moved. Even Earl Mistral, who was inside a private room at the restaurant, stood there motionless with a heavy expression. His vision had already recovered, but all he saw was workers wearing grayish blue or light blue clothes and bicycles of the same make. Apart from that, he discovered nothing. Furthermore, Ernie's boy hadn't been injured at all. Of course, he had guessed that the paper boy was problematic for the newspaper in the Sanguine Viscount had. However, he didn't attempt to carry out the pursuit. Clearly, the power had been borrowed at the level of an angel that didn't belong to a low or mythic ones beyond her. This also meant that Emlyn White's faction had at least a demigod hidden in the vicinity. Mistral believed that once he took action, he was bound to be stopped or even incur retaliation. Oh, shit. Wait, so the twirling eyes were Audrey using her spectator powers? Wait, she can do that? Oh. I thought that was Leonard using like a nightmare ability or something. Okay, so the twirling of the eyes was actually Audrey using her spectator powers. Thank you, D. In a situation of being easily detected while not knowing where his opponents were hiding, Mr. believed that it spelled trouble. Carrying out a pursuit in such cases only exacerbated the matter. Furthermore, to the Sanguine, this was only a test. If the faction backing Emily had mobilized a demigod, they could detain the powerhouse thanks to Ernie's Bar's protective measures, and through the Oath of Rose, Mistral could confirm the attacker's identity. They had never thought of escalating the matter into an intense conflict, and their plans had only involved Earl Mistral stopping the other party to prevent Ernie Boyer from suffering any harm. In the present situation, they had lost the initiative. To forcefully carry out a pursuit might highly likely result in the demigod's battle, and in backland around the St. Hare Lens Cathedral, this was equivalent to unaliving. Besides, to Mistral, since the other demigod hadn't personally taken action and had only provided auxiliary help to personally take action and make a pursuit, would be a loss of decorum and an insult to his reputation as a Sanguine Earl. I want to see what happens next. Mistral's face muscles twitched as he rotated the ghostly blue rings on his left hand once more. After the 12 gongs, Emlyn started walking again. He circled past the fountain and arrived at the other end of St. Harold Square amidst the landing pigeons. I'm seeing a lot of pigeons. One has to be Amon, man. Every time I see a fucking animal, I'm like, one is Amon. blending into the crowd. He then saw Ernie's barn, who had his back hunched slightly, afraid to even move half a step. He saw the toppled carriage, the horse that was flicking its tails, and the carriage driver who wore a look of pain. Emlyn walked over, took out a wallet, and pulled out 100 pounds. He handed it to the carriage driver and said, "This is your compensation." The carriage driver wore a blank but pleasant surprised look. The rental carriage wasn't his. He was only an ordinary employee. After the carriage was damaged because of the horse being startled, his experienced a brief moment of feeling the pinch. Following that, it was an anxious and despair that ruled over his mind. Based on the so-called contract and the other similar accidents that had seen over the years, he was reasonable for all this. This meant the compensation from him, and with the income and family situation, meant bankruptcy. During the short moment, all kinds of thoughts had surfaced in the carriage driver's mind. They were mainly of three types. One was to scare the frozen gentleman and get him to pay compensation. This prevented his family from falling apart, from the children having to slave away at the factories at a young age. Another option was to immediately bring the horse to the gangster and sell it. Then he would return home and leave Backland with his wife and children. The last option was to arrange for his family to move from the place they rented. He would then plead with the owner of the carriage, hoping that he could repay it in installments. If the person wasn't agreeable, he would rather be throwing it into jail than reimburse him to a single penny. Now, having 100 pounds suddenly hit him, left his mind groggy. It was a loss for words. 100 pounds was enough to buy a brand new rental carriage and even more. Albert ignored the carriage driver and looked at Ernie's. "Everything's fine now. Aren't you the biggest problem? How can it be fine with you here?" Ernie's lampoon is a rotated ring and his ghostly blue gem on his left hand. For some unknown reason, he felt that he should believe Emlyn Watt and even approach him. Emily shot a glance, suddenly turned around and walked briskly into the alley. Ernie subconsciously opened his stride and followed closely behind. He's like, "I guess we follow." He kept holding out the newspaper in his hand. The two Sanguine moved at extremely fast speeds, with one running and the other chasing. However, they didn't dare reveal anything extraordinary. When Earl Mistral sensed that the two Sanguine were beyond the reach of the spirituality, he used the connection between the paired oath or rose rings to follow behind unhurriedly. Emlyn occasionally made detours, taking shortcuts and occasionally returning to the spot that had been before. It made it difficult to guess where his destination was. As for Ernest, he was like a bull having seen a red cloth. He refused to give up as he followed closely behind. Unknowingly, the two Sanguine arrived at the Rose Street, which was south of the bridge. At this moment, Emlyn suddenly sped up. He wasn't afraid that the others saw him producing after images as he dashed right into the Harvest Church. Ernest did the same, and now he is inside. Not good. From afar, Earl Minstrel was just about to descend upon them to stop the subsequent developments, where Ernie's figure vanished inside the Harvest Church entrance. He got him. Kacha, a tile at the minstrel's foot instantly shattered. After entering the cathedral, Ernest came to realization. He then saw a figure wearing a brown priest robe. Oh shit, here we go. Father Chad Skrowski. He fell for the trap. I was trying to say Chad Utrowski, but I messed that up. He then saw a figure wearing a brown priest robe stand up in front of all the rows and fuse. He appeared like a mountain. At the same time, the entire cathedral turned heavy as if it was a jail. That's kind of scary. It seemed to fuse with the land itself. Ernest's mind buzzed immediately. Another voice sounded in his mind. "After you awaken for your first hypnosis, throw all items on you to Emlyn White. Just give him everything." Amidst shuffling sounds, Ernest took off his dash, threw out the brooch, and slammed the various items towards Emlyn White. This included his silver pocket watch and a wallet filled with cash. Ooh, well, free money. The newspaper in his hands fell to the ground, throwing out a paper card that was stuffed within. On the other paper card was the goddess of justice sitting on a chair and holding a sword and scale. It was a... What? He has the... What the fuck? What? He has the card? Ernest? The newspaper in his hand fell to the ground, throwing out a paper card that was stuffed within. On the paper card was the goddess of justice sitting on a chair holding a sword and scale. We got the... What? We got a card just like that? It was a tarot card justice. Okay. What the fuck? That was crazy. We got that card just like that. Power of magic. We're going to hit pause and then resume. Ooh. That was pretty good. I feel like I need G Fuel. Let's read one more. Because I know at the end of the chapter, we're playing battle music. No, they are leaving their signature. All right, let's do this. Oh, okay. That makes more sense. Thank you, D. Got it. Just like in Volume 2, when Klein accidentally left his cards behind, that was already their, like, signature thing. So she left behind. Got it. Audrey left that. Audrey left that to show, like, yeah, bitch, I'm from the Terror Club. Okay, I thought he was just walking around with a card of blasphemy. I was like, what the fuck? Okay. Yes. Okay. That makes so much more sense. I'm like, that shit really was coincidental if he had the fucking Justice card to blast me. The Justice one. I'm like, okay. That makes more sense. Terror Club operation. Audrey partook in the operation. She leaves behind the Justice card. That makes more sense because they need justice on him. That makes so much more sense. I was going to be like, that was a little too coincidental. But okay, I digress. Chapter 103 is called Ritornello. I think I pronounced that right. After throwing everything other than his clothes, Ernest Barr was stunned for a moment before he stepped to his senses. What am I doing? What did I do? This sanguine Viscount finally recalled the matter as he deliberately forgot those pair of emerald green eyes, limped eyes. A psychological cue, no hypnosis. Ernest Barr looked around in an angular and irresistible horror, instinctively taking into the situation he was in. His gaze then landed on the mountain-like figure. He saw Father Wachowski with his thin and sparse brows. Instantly, Ernest Barr had all sorts of thoughts run through his mind and collided with one another. He quickly came up with one intense thought. Let me go get G Fuel. Look at that. I was able to pause the video so quickly. Let me get G Fuel. I'll be right back. Reading comprehension, this stream, go brr. I know, it did. It only, indeed, love, it only happens when I don't have fucking caffeine before stream. I know my limits, man. I've reached that point in life where, like, I need fucking coffee, like, at the middle of my day. Check this out. I'll be right back in 1 minute. That's crazy, dude. Look at that. That's wild. I don't even have to, like, interact. Oh, loading screen update. I updated just a little bit. Just to make it easier. Just change. Look at that. That's crazy. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. I'm showing the chapter. Oh, shit. Can't show the chapter. Oh, man. Wait. Oh, wait. I'm on the wrong scene. I gotta remember that. That's the wrong scene. The first one is just loading. Yeah, man. Reading comprehension takes a hit when I don't have coffee in me, man. Or if I don't have some form of caffeine. All right, we're good. Oh, man. I'm just gonna scoot in. Prop my thing. All right, now we get reading. And before I left, I highlighted the word. Just like last stream, you guys told me to highlight. All right, I got coffee. That's called addiction. I mean, not coffee. I got my G Fuel. Hey, man, I need caffeine, man. I've reached a point in life where I need caffeine to keep me going. But look, I was able to highlight the word so we did not lose our place. He didn't put up any resistance, and he immediately said, I'll come here to do a month of volunteer work, just like that. Alan predicament had long been spread amongst the Sanguines and Backland. Ernest Barr as well was well aware of Father Wachowski and knew that even if he was to put up a fight, it was difficult for him to escape the fate of doing volunteer work. He might as well surrender and choose the conditions that would be more beneficial to him. The operation was for Leonard to make the target fall asleep for Audrey. That's where he explained the nightmare part. And then Audrey uses her hypnosis when he's asleep, and I assume through the dream world, to follow Emlyn into the Harvest Church and to give every Beyonder item on him to Emlyn. Got it. Okay. At the very least, I should have... Thank you, D. At the very least, I shouldn't have had any cues planted in my mind and ended up converting my faith to Earth Mother. This thought flashed through Ernie's mind. He discovered that a lantern Utroski handed, and inside it was a strange candle that seemed to be covered in a human skin with protruding lumps. It's covered in human skin? I forgot that part. Under the candlelight's faithful illumination, Ernie's pupils widened again. He only had one thought in his mind remaining as it kept resonating. Another psychological cue. At that moment, he felt gloominess thicken in his heart. All right. Utroski nodded and agreed to Ernie's borrow. Emlyn held back his smugness and pleased smile. He's like, yes, what you get. He then looked at the item that he had caught. Looked like a familiar who had just reaped a bountiful harvest. In a private room on the third story of the restaurant northwest of the square, the lights darkened as a huge shadow appeared. Tiny bats flew out of the darkness and quickly clumped together. Smoke rose up as the silver-haired, scarlet-eyed Earl Mitchell appeared at the spot where the bats had appeared. Everything around him had been restored to normal. His servant, a middle-aged man in a dark former suit, immediately stepped forward and asked about, "My lord, are you having your meal now?" He couldn't tell if things had happened smoothly or if something had gone wrong, much less about the success of the outcome from Earl's face. However, he didn't dare inquire. Mr. nodded as he said yes. He walked to the table with a composed look and took off the ring with the ghostly blue gem and sat down without showing a chink in his chink in his disposition? I've never said that word in my life. What is that? A narrow opening or crack, typically one that emits light. It was as though he had headed out to feed the pigeons. The rich, there's been a lot of pigeons in the last chapter or two, man. Oh, wow. This rich smell is rather unique, but it's not bad. In the private room neighboring Earl Mistral, Klein was wearing a very ordinary face as he commented on the civilized cuisine delicacy lamp tribe. This punishment operation was an attempt by the few members of the Terror Club, one that didn't need the world of Mr. Fool's interference, but considering how Mistresses in the Moon had zero experience in such matters and lacked experience in other matters, he had come in the area in incognito as a final safeguard. Oh shit, that's so cool. He came to back him up. So the operation, we read that part, like the demigod Sanguines that was in the shadow to not be able to save the Sanguine. The Sanguine wanted to obtain the information on the Terror Club, but their trap failed. They were the ones that fell for the trap. So it's like, it was like a double trap. Their trap ended up being their trap, if that makes sense. Their trap ended up being the other person's trap. Okay. He had previously used his marionette to pray to the fool while he entered the attached bathroom. It's always the bathrooms. As he entered the attached bathroom of his private room and head above the gray fog, using the corresponding point of light, he had taken in the entire square of its surroundings. He kept holding the Sea God Scepter the entire time. Did I even do my timestamp? Yes, I did. He ended up using the Sea God Scepter. He kept holding the Sea God Scepter the entire time, prepared to deliver a lightning strike to prevent any problems when he discovered anything amiss. However, he ultimately didn't do anything. Everything had happened more smoothly than he had imagined. There was no need for him to consider the experience of the star Leonard, but Miss Justice, who was participating in such matters for the first time, had exceeded his expectations. She wasn't nervous at all, not showing any signs of panic. Indeed, the sequence 6 of the Spectator pathway is far greater than low and mid sequence beyonders on the other pathway when it comes to controlling emotions. Even if she felt uneasy, she would have resolved it with her beyond her powers. Before the operation, Klein nodded indiscriminately as he continued sampling the other delicacies. Outside the window of St. Herland Square, it became filled with lively music and ecclesiastic. See, I said it right. Oh wait, no, that's not ecclesiastic. An eclectic mix of flute, violin, accordion, and 7-string guitars. A rental carriage was slowly circling around the perimeter of St. Herland Square. Leonardo Mitchell, who was prepared to return to the north bank of the Backland Bridge, took one look at the pigeons in the middle of the square before asking with a suppressed voice, "Old man, what's your take regarding the outcome of this operation?" After he pulled Ernie's bar into the dream, he flipped Layman's Travels and activated the Angel Embrace. He then left the scene of the carriage, unsure of the subsequent developments. In his mind, Palazzo snapped back. In the fourth epoch, there's such a saying, believe in the might of deities. I said it right. Famous last words. Famous last words indeed, brothers and sisters. In the fourth epoch, there's such a saying, believe in the might of deities. That sounds hype. This means that no matter Wait, this means that the matters had received the tacit approval of Mr. Full, so it's bound to succeed. However, Old Man doesn't know much about the Terror Club. Mr. Full is a witness most of the time, so there's no so-called tacit approval. Leonard mumbled ignorantly before diverting the topic. Why doesn't this saying feel complete? He had never informed Palazaros of the exact situation of the Terror Club. All he did was give mention of the general situation. The Terror Club informed him of the matters that had been approved by Mr. Full. Palashagan said, indeed, there's also a second half of the saying, do not trust their benevolence. Oh, shit. Okay. Is there a third line to this? But do not trust their benevolence. So even though Klein is receiving help from Mommy Evernight, we should not trust her benevolence. Fire quote. That's a fucking fire-ass quote. I think we just found our title. Do not trust her benevolence. The saying goes hard. The saying is so hard I'm gonna stop right there. Do not trust their benevolence. Believe in the might of the deities, but do not trust their benevolence. So it's believe in the might of deities, but do not trust their benevolence. Leonard repeated in silence as he looked down at the notebook with a bronze hardcover. He then muttered wistfully, this is really akin to the Grade 1 sewer artifact. Furthermore, resolving its negative effects is relatively simple. Before this operation, consideration was given to the fact. No comment. Consideration was given to the fact that the Beyonders of the pathway involving the moon domain, as well as the darkness, had relatively stronger resistance against the nightmare-related effects. Leonard had originally planned. We're recording? Okay, I trust OBS. I just wanted to be sure. Leonard had originally planned on borrowing Creeping Hunger from the world. I'm sorry. Is Klein comfortable to rent it out now? Just how we're renting out Layman's Travels, is Klein now going to be renting out Creeping Hunger? Planned on borrowing Creeping Hunger for the world. From the world Climb Ready. However, after some subsequent discussion, Miss Magician mentioned that the traits of Layman's Travels giving him a better option. Hence, Klein, who was originally responsible for Angel's Embrace, let him Creeping Hunger for 3 hours. Various useful Beyonder powers were recorded, such as Bribe Weekend. This is something from the Abraham family. Palazaros said with a sigh. Leonard had long known of this. As he nodded indescribably, he then asked, Old man, do you have the means of weakening or controlling the negative effects of the mystical item I previously mentioned? He only needs it to teleport now? That's all he needs. That's literally the only ability that can aid him. He's so fucking OP, bro. Bro, wow, since I was able to clip easy for something like this, I don't even know what you're talking about. There is no clip. This is something from the Abraham family. Palazaros said with a sigh. Leonard had long known of this as he nodded indescribably. He then asked, Old man, do you have the means of weakening or controlling the negative effects of the mystical item I previously mentioned? You call that a mystical item? That's something that requires sealing. Palaz first reprimanded Leonard. Then he said, didn't you say that it was a living characteristic? That makes it much easier to resolve? Living characteristics are much easier to resolve. Okay. Whoa, this is a long-ass chapter. What the fuck? This is a meaty chapter. Leonard felt relieved as he cast his gaze out the window again, taking in the sight of St. Harold Cathedral, which had parts resembling factories, and Phelps Street, Northborough, in the vicinity of St. Simon Cathedral at the entrance of the Low and Charity Bursey Foundation. After changing her clothes, Audrey got off a carriage like an ordinary girl. She had already gotten rid of her paper boy attire at a hotel room that had been prepared ahead of time. And that room was reserved by someone under Emmeline's instructions. It had nothing to do with her. At this moment, there were people coming and going at the Low and Charity Bursey Foundation entrance, but Audrey walked over without any hesitation. No one looked at her as though she lived in another world. Okay, that's pretty badass. Audrey briskly walked into the floor, went up to the second story, and headed for the director's office, and everyone who she walked past seemed to join her in playing a game, pretending as though they hadn't seen her. Damn, she's good. They weren't puzzled about why this unfamiliar girl was inside. Audrey was just about to enter the office when she suddenly heard a familiar voice inside. Miss Audrey, this is the amount of donations we have gathered this week. Audrey couldn't help but curl the end of her lips as she gently nudged ajar the door and walked in. Inside the office, a staff member was holding a stack of documents, showing it to the person beside the desk. Sitting behind the desk was a golden... What the fuck? Sissy is in on the mission? I'm sorry, is she in on the operation, just chilling at the desk? Sitting behind the desk was a golden retriever with a pair of gold-rimmed glasses hanging by her neck. It sat at the director's seat, casually flipping through the documents, and said, "This wouldn't be an issue." I laughed so much. This is so good. It's just like, Miss Audrey, come on in. What the fuck? That wouldn't be an issue. The staff member then took. I'm sorry, and all the staff member. Why the fuck is there a talking dog? Oh wait, no, they didn't go in the office room, so they don't see this part. But still, this is fucking funny. The staff member then took back the documents and smiled at the golden retriever. Then I'll take my leave, Miss. Oh wait, they do see her. The staff members then took back the documents and smiled at. Wait, they take the documents from Audrey, not from Audrey, from Susie. Smiled at the golden retriever. Then I'll take my leave, Miss Audrey. What the fuck? She was acting as her body double. What the fuck? Behind her, there has to be artwork on this. They're hypnotized. They can't even tell it's a fucking dog. Is there art? Please tell me there's artwork on this, bro. Is there artwork on this scene? Behind her, Audrey held back her laughter as she walked to the cell phone. I'm fucking laughing. She suddenly watched the staff members leave without interpreting the golden retriever from reading other documents. They're just like, what the fuck? This is so funny. This is so good. Behind her, Audrey held back her laughter as she walked to the sofa. She suddenly watched the staff member leave without interpreting the golden retriever from reading the other documents. Susie seriously read the different documents, afraid that something wrong would happen to her acting, thus affecting Audrey's matters. After a while, she suddenly looked around in puzzlement. Audrey, are you back? How did you notice? Audrey stood up from the sofa and appeared with Susie's sides. From this operation, she had specially spoken to Susie. She got the letter to replace her at work in the Low-End Charity Bursey Foundation. That's crazy. She got the ladder to replace her at work in the Low-End Charity Bursey Foundation. Like, damn. No artwork? Damn, there should have been artwork on this foundation. Then, with the golden retriever in tow, she hypnotized all the staff members who would interact with her that day, making them treat Susie as Audrey. What a crazy-ass body double. As for any possible visitors, like, oh yeah, that's Audrey. As for any possible visitors, she told her staff that there would only be guests in the afternoon. And the signal to snap out of the hypnosis was the cathedral bells at 2 in the afternoon. Susie jumped off the chair after seeing Audrey, saying in exasperation, "It's almost 2. That's right." Audrey literally made a silly face as she rushed into the small lounge and changed into her clothes. That's kind of scary, man, that she can do that. She then used Lai's flame-controlling power to burn her previous disguise. After... Burn it? I also want my dog to work in my place. I would love Ellie to work in my place. Oh, man, you know how much more we can stream? Oh, that'd be so fun. She then used Lay's flame-controlling powers to burn her previous disguise. After returning to her office and sitting at her seat, she felt completely relaxed. She clasped her hands together and lightly pursed her lips. To be frank, she had always been nervous. However, she had successfully cast placate on herself before the operation, preventing any slip-ups. It's quite interesting. Now that I reminisce over it, we discussed how we could compensate those who were affected. Audrey, well done. A smile beamed on the blonde, green-eyed beauty as it grew brighter. After this operation, she realized the hypnotist potion had digested by a significant amount, but not fully. Furthermore, she had also confirmed one thing. The mystical item, Hand of Horror, which came with bribe charm, worked perfectly with hypnosis. Yes, I also learned that Mr. Moon's name is Emlyn White. He didn't bother hiding the matter because he had to tell me. Otherwise, we wouldn't have achieved our goal. Yes. Perhaps just giving a name of the cathedral was enough, but this was still exposed his identity. I'm still feeling some anxiety. I was too stiff when hypnotizing. I actually used words that were too direct during the first level of hypnosis. Oh, she has to be more subtle. Audrey cast placate on her slightly agitated feeling as she reviewed the entire operation. Oh, that's good. I do like the fact that, like, if there's ever a Terror Club member that can, like, potentially lose control or, like, would lose control, Audrey's there to, like, help them out. She just instantly casts placate, and then, bah, they're good. As of right now, that's what it looks like. Audrey cast placate on her slightly agitated feelings as she reviewed the entire operation, hoping that she could draw from the experience and lessons of today. Gong, gong. St. Samuel Cathedral's bell chimed, indicating that it was 2 in the afternoon. Many staff who were inside 22 Phelps Street at the Low-End Charity Bursey Foundation had their bodies tremble after hearing it. Following that, they continued with their work as though nothing had happened. Gong, gong. Audrey is the best support. She is coming in clutch right now as a good support member. Amidst the cathedral's bell, Klein, who had transformed back into Dwayne Dantes, once again walked to 160 Buckland Street balcony and took in the situation on Macha's house. At this moment, a carriage passed by her residence entrance and drove to the end of the street. Suddenly, Klein felt his perception trigger as a scene surfaced in his mind. A gray rat was leaning against the carriage window, leisurely watching the street scenery. It's fucking Amon. Amon watched the whole operation. Wait. Amidst the cathedral bell, so it's 2 o'clock. Klein, who had transformed back into Dwayne Dantes, once again walked to 160 Bulkland Street balcony and took in the situation of Macha's house. At this moment, a carriage passed by his residence entrance and drove to the end of the street. Suddenly, Klein felt his perception trigger, auto-divination triggered, as he seen surface in his mind. So Klein can sense him. A gray rat was leaning against a carriage window, leisurely watching the street scenery. Amon PTSD kicking it. It's fucking him, bro. There's no way it's Hazel's teacher. Amon literally sapped his fate. Third movement? Okay, next chapter. Wow, look at that. We were able to pause just like that. All right, let me do my timestamp. Let me quickly check Discord on my phone just so I have the name of the song you guys want me to put. You guys said it's in general, right? The one, the song Cammy linked? What the fuck? I put 461 minutes. 46 minutes. 32 seconds. Give me a sec. Let me open up Discord so I can get the song. Where the fuck is my phone? Oh, it's right here. Wait, I'm on PTSD. I know. Wait, I just want to have the song in my my YouTube history. That's it. I just want to have it in my YouTube history. I'm gonna do the blurry eye thing. I'm gonna do the blurry eye technique. I think Cammy did fall asleep. Yeah, no, but he said he put it in general. He said I'll leave it in general so you guys can just ping it again or whatever. Oh, I think Cammy left it right here. Also, Sunday Medici, sorry. Easy is at 102 right now. Oh, it's the one from earlier. Oh, he wants me to play it for 104 end of chapter when we get back to Klein, not start. So not at the start. So when we get back to Klein. All right. I got it. Thank you, Cammy. Give me a sec. Let me open it up on YouTube so it's in our history. Why would I trade my favorite crypto assets? Yeah, man, I'm not gonna lie. I've made quite a bit in the past from crypto. It's kind of crazy, man. If you can like find a good or even stocks, if you can find like a good penny stock or pretty good cheap end crypto, you just buy in a little bit, right? Just put a little bit here and there. Always chip away a little bit. You get pretty lucky sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes you get lucky. And then you just make back. Cammy might be lessening Scream to see if he wakes up. You know what I hate, man? I always get fucking ingrown hairs. Well, actually, no. I think this was a pimple, if I remember. I hate it. I hate this. All right, let me go on YouTube right here. Give me a sec. Let me just loop the song before we start. Just loop this one for now. We'll just loop this one for now. No, let's just loop Gustav. Same DSV. I avoid things that sound too good to be true. Yeah, but it's like, it's never too, you know what? Well, hold up. I'm a stall. This is just a 2-minute stall, man. I hate my life for this, man. Well, I don't hate life. I love life. I'm in a very happy place in life. Let me rephrase that. I'm just mad. I didn't buy into I didn't buy into Bitcoin 10 years ago. Fucking 10 years ago, man, when I just started dipping my toe into this shit. Fucking, a friend of mine was like, hey, man, you should buy into crypto. And I'm like, okay, where do we start? I'm putting a little bit of Ethereum, like all this other stuff. Slowly, gradually going up. You take some at the end of a bull years later, and then you get some money. Then you put half back in, so you didn't lose money, but you take. So basically, the point is you take out what you put in, and you just keep what was investing. Everyone is probably like that. But here's the thing, man. I originally bought Bitcoin back in the day. Like fucking 10 years ago, man, when it was like a couple thousand, and then it was like at 5,000, and then that bitch dropped to like 1,500. I'm like, what the fuck? I just lost a shitload of fucking money. This shit is stupid. I sold it right away. I'm like, fuck this, bro. We could be reading to him all day without having to work. I know, man. I wish, bro. Oh man, I wish I didn't sell my Bitcoin. I wish I didn't. I'm not saying I owned like one Bitcoin, but like I owned a fair bit without divulging what I owned. I regret selling my fucking Bitcoin 10 years ago, man. I wish I hodled, and instead of saying hold, people say hodl. I wish I fucking hodled that bitch, because that thing hit like 100K, man. It is like, oh man, life is so unfair. What the fuck was I doing in elementary school playing video games and hanging out with friends? I should have been investing in Bitcoin when I was a child. Well, in the future, we just have to make the easy geeky coin. Shit. Fucking pump and dump. You know what I mean? Sorry, wait. No pump and dump. I'm fucking joking. I will never fucking do that. Dude, man, that shit is so scummy. It's like 99% of the time, all those fucking streamer coins, it's just a fucking pump and dump. People say we're gonna lock in, but there's so much fucking knock on in Minecraft crypto changing. Some guy has 500 Bitcoin on an account, but he lost his. I've seen that, Cammy. I followed up on a guy that lost his password, and he had like a failsafe thing. Oh man, you know what? You know what though? I don't know what your guys' stances are on Elon. But man, that fucking Dogecoin, I made so much money on Doge. I made so much fucking money on Doge. It's crazy. Like with a couple hundred, I made a couple thousand. Sold that bitch right away. Oh man, life was good for that. That helped me out for like that year. I'm like, holy shit, I got so lucky. And I always take out what I invest, and then like I keep half of what I made in all my accounts and whatnot, and then it's so frustrating. I still have so much Cardano that I regret not selling back then. I could have profited like 10K, but I didn't. I held it, and then it went down. But now, whatever next bull cycle, it should go up to a higher value. I'm gonna shut up. I'm gonna stop talking about this before I go on forever. Point is, be careful. What somebody said earlier, if something sounds too good to be true, it's too good to be true. But you can be lucky. Point is. But it's not worth it if you're just... such a headache. All right, next chapter, 104. I'm sorry for stalling, Cammy. I have the music ready. Sorry. All right, let's keep reading. Based does not matter who the coin is. If you can make money, do it. Yeah, doesn't matter who. If you can nibble off the 1% of the 1%, fucking do it. Because they're doing it. Just if they're doing it, you do it. If they're gonna start fucking doing pump and dumps, snipe that bitch and then sell it right away. In Minecraft, not legal advice, clearly. Because you lose a lot of money. You know what? I'm gonna stop. This sounds so weird talking about it. I've seen so many videos of streamers. Oh, this isn't financial advice. Oh, and then it's like, oh, buy this. I'm gonna stop. You know what? I'm gonna just stop talking about crypto and stonks. This is our one and only time talking about it because I feel weird. I don't want to. I don't want to cloud your guys' judgment. Let's keep reading. All right, with the power of magic, we hit resume. Chapter 1. I was about to say 104. Chapter 1004 is called Third Movement. I think Cammy said when we go back to Klein, we play the music. I have it ready. I'm locked and loaded. Third movement, Gray Rat. Klein's eyelids twitch as he didn't hesitate to turn back. I should have bought Bitcoin in third grade. For real, yeah, what were we doing, man? What were we thinking playing with coloring books, man? We should have been buying Bitcoin in third grade. I should have been making my freaking bank accounts in third grade, you know? And investing in real estate, you know? What were we doing, you know, enjoying life as children? We should have been investing. Gray Rat, Klein's eyelids twitch as he didn't hesitate to turn back into his half-open room. Leave the balcony and enter the master bedroom. He then entered the bathroom. I'm getting lightheaded saying that. I'm saying that jokingly, but I'm being serious. What the fuck were we doing playing around this, kids? We should have been investing back then. He moved at an adequate pace, doing so as though he had been repeating this entire process like a daily routine. Locking the bathroom's door, Klein took 4 steps counterclockwise and passed through the gray fog filled with ravings and roars, finally taking his seat on the high-backed chair of the fool. What? And before this, he made his valet, Uni, who had been standing by the corridor, softly play the sea god Calvatua. Using the corresponding point of light, he beckoned for the sea god scepter and began expanding his vision. He then locked onto the carriage that was driving towards Mott's residence, 39 Buckland Street. I didn't even know how internet worked in third grade. Tell me about it, man. It's like, what is the internet? And this time, I learned about the internet through my PSP, bro. It's crazy. That's how I learned about the internet. I was just using my PSP like, oh, free Wi-Fi. Whoa, internet. And this time, the person leaning against the glass window and leisurely taking in... I skipped a sentence. Using the corresponding point in line, he beckoned for the sea god scepter and began expanding his vision. He then locked onto the carriage that was driving towards Mosh's residence during night in Brooklyn Street. At this time, the person leaning against the glass window and leisurely taking in the scenery was no longer Gray Rat, but a young man wearing a silk top hat and black trench coat. He had black hair and black eyes. His face was thin with a broad... It's fucking Amon! Oh, shit. Oh, do I play the music? No, I don't play it yet, right? Too early? Cammy, too early? Can I just loop it silently because we're already getting Amon? So this is Amon, right? The person leaning against the glass window was leisurely taking in the scenery, was no longer Gray Rat, but a young man wearing a silk top hat and a black trench coat. He had black hair and black eyes. His face was thin with a broad forehead. He wore a crystal monocle and had a faint smile on his lips. He was none other than the blasphemer, the angel of time, the son of creator. End of chapter. Oh, end of chapter, end of chapter, end of chapter. We'll play it. End of chapter. Just play some random. Just loop a random track. Let's just loop Lumiere. Okay, end of track. End of track. I lost my fucking molecule. Let me raise the volume a bit. Give me a sec. Okay. Let's reread that. Oh, look, I don't even have to look. I don't even have to hit play up here. I got my stream deck right here. All right. He was none other than the blasphemer, the angel of time, the son of the creator, Amon. Although Klein was already mentally prepared, his anxiety made his entire bottle. What the fuck did I say? It made his entire body feel chilly. Amon had clearly appeared in his original form. He appeared in his original form, but after, lower the volume, but after stealing the rat demigod's destiny, it's like you steal their destiny, right? But after stealing the rat demigod's destiny, he appeared as a gray rat in everybody's eyes without incurring any suspicion. Oh, so in everybody's point of view, that's the other parasite. Ah, that's the other demigod one. Okay, but it's like he knows it's Amon. He and his brother, Angel of Imagination Adam, had certain powers which were similar. It left terror in his mind of the others more, and they thought about it, but it was interestingly different. Yeah, because outside of the fog, he sees him as a rat. Got it. Oh, right here. It says it right here in the next sentence. Thank you, Cammy. If not for the gray fog and for my deeper control of this place, I wouldn't have discovered it either. So he can see it because he has his own little fog domain. Klein felt a mix of joy and alarm as he expanded his vision to seek out Amon's avatar. Compared to the grafting of destiny, the signs of parasitizing was a lot clearer. However, Klein didn't notice anything this time. Be it that the other passengers in the carriage, the horses, the tower of the carriage, or the surrounding trees of the air, there wasn't any sign of parasitizing. This is different from what Leonardo Grandpa said. Shouldn't that appearance of one of Amon's mean the accompaniment of many more Amons? Accompaniment. I've never said that word in my life. But yes, like you're being accompanied by other avatars, by many more Amons. He is clearly aware that something is going on. He is clearly aware that he was discovered by a bizarre sorcerer of the Church of the Evernight, and he suspects that Brooklyn Street is under surveillance. Therefore, he only needs a single avatar to investigate the situation. Klein frowned as he came up with theories. He was a little unsure of how to handle the current development. Of course, he recalled Palazzarot's mentioning that as long as one avatar was resolved, he could eliminate all Amons in Brooklyn Street. I don't know, man. Accompaniment is French for a group of followers. Okay, so like they're all following. Okay, thank you, Cammy. I'm gonna blame the French when I can't pronounce a word, man. And now there was only... I'm sorry to all our French viewers. I apologize. And now there was only one Amon in Brooklyn Street. A perfect time to take action. I'll first hear what the expert's opinions is. Klein immediately conjured the world Grim and Sparrow to figure out the other end of the long bronze table and made his reverently and piously pray. Honorable Mr. Fool, please inform Mr. Leonard and Mitchell that Amon had appeared at 39 Buckland Street, but there's only one. While Grim and Sparrow made the prayer, Klein didn't stop monitoring the carriage. He saw Hazel in a light-colored dress. Oh, and then from Hazel's point of view, that's her teacher. He saw Hazel in a light-colored dress alight the end and enter her foyer. Amon, who was wearing a monocle and black trench coat, walked behind her without complete compose. Oh, shit. Yo, you need to practice your French with the future. Trust me. Shit, really? Shit, that's like half your chat today. A little bit. It's fine. We're used to it. Wait, D, you're French? I'm sorry. I formally apologize, D. I'm sorry. It was as though there was only... Wait. Amon, who was wearing a monocle and black trench coat, walked behind her with complete composure. Despite not having any concealment, the servants didn't notice him at all. It was as though there was only air or some inconspicuous creature behind Miss Hazel. What the fuck? They don't sense him? Occasionally, the female servants would look at the ground and jump in fright. Just as they were about to scream, they would forget what they were about to do after their mouths opened. Amon passed through the floor and walked upstairs, pinching the crystal monocle on his stuffed his hand into his pocket watch. Wait, hold up. What's he doing with a monocle, man? Like, what's the trick? Intis is French as fuck. Among that sounded like an insult. Wait, you didn't know? No, I didn't know. Are you also French, love? Yeah, I'm French with Cammy and Amma. Wait, you guys are all fucking French? I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Well, I know the one American. There's one American that goes crazy when he hears what's a kilometer, and he's like, boy, he's spamming the Eagles. Occasionally, the female servants will look. Wait, let me read this part. Amon passed through the floor and walked up the stairs, pinching his crystal monocle. So he pinches his crystal monocle. Amon stuffed his hands into his pockets. Okay. Ring transparent worms began swarming out of his body as it crawled in every direction before vanishing. Ugh. This left Klein's scalping tingling. He recalled Palazzo's description of Amon's parasitizing powers. A plague-like infection. A plague-like infection, okay? Hey, I feel like we're going to need a plague doctor to kind of negate this. Hazel had been in an excellent mood recently. This is because her teacher had vaguely, truly gone mad. Everything that had happened previously was only a test, and she had passed it with flying colors. This made her gain plenty of knowledge about the supernatural world. She learned the essence of the potions and grasped the acting method. She also gained the opportunity to advance to cryptologist. She was currently a sequence 7 beyonder. So the world actually has such a magical side to it. I wonder when I can become a demigod and shake off my mortal course. Dude, I feel like he's gonna start grazing Hazel, like her characteristics at the end. Oh, that's bad. Hazel glanced at the hanging wall clock and rubbed her sunken tummy. She decided to get her mother to bring forward the high tea session today. High tea session. So instead of high noon, there's high tea. Oh, sweet summer child. Adam is a southerner in French. Oh, man. Oh, sweet summer child. Hazel glanced at the hanging wall clock. Right. He was going to ask her mom for high tea. High tea session today. After all, there weren't any guests. At noon, she had used the excuse of heading out for a meal to bring her teacher back. She also took the opportunity to act and hadn't anything to eat. Upon thinking that, she glanced at the teacher who was springing out of a little cushion on the sofa. The gray rat had raised its front paw and pressed on its right eye. Do you need any food? Hazel asked reverberantly. The rat lowered its front paw and answered unhurriedly, there's no need. All right, teacher. Hazel turned around and walked forward, opening the door to her bedroom. Her ladies' maids were standing along the corridor, leisurely looking at the balcony at the end of the corridor as though she was admiring the afternoon sky. Oh, she is so dead. Hazel indiscriminately frowned and said, guard this place, don't let anyone in. The ladies' maid shot one glance at her and smiled. Yes, miss. Only then did Hazel leave her bedroom and head for the activity room on the second story. She found her mother, Ma'am Rihanna. This lady was the same black green hair receiver of a pair of gem-embedded glasses with a gold chain hanging from her lady's maid. It was more of an accessory than an eyesight correction tool. Don't tell me that you don't like it, Hazel asked in puzzlement. The corners of Ma'am Rihanna's mouth curled slightly. I like it now. As she said that, she wore the glasses. As Hazel was just about to say something, she heard the footsteps approach. She turned her head to find that her father, Member of Parliament Maj, coming home early. Father, didn't you say that you'll be at the military veterans mess? Oh, nah, high tea is a light meal, usually between 5 and 6 p.m. Oh. I didn't know that. Maybe our high tea time should be that between 5 and 6 p.m. and we just start drinking tea on stream. I'm like, oh, it's high tea time, guys. I think that'd be a fun little stream segment. Hazel asking passing, there wasn't anyone there today. Mach raised his right hand and pinched the two sides of his eyes. Hazel thought nothing of it as she nodded. Perfect, we haven't had high tea together in a long time. Ooh, she's so dead. Someone is dead. That's right, Member of Parliament Mach and Ma'am Rihanna laughed at the same time as the faint smile appeared on their lips. So when we cut back to Klein, that's when we played the music. Don't worry, I still remember, Cammy. At 7 Pincer Street, Leonard, who was just returned from St. Herlin Square, threw himself onto the sofa as he lifted his feet onto the coffee table. Having not received any information, he believed that the punishment operation had come to a perfect end, allowing him to look forward to the spoils of war. Old ma'am, didn't you say that the Sanguine Viscount had many mystical items on him? Can you tell me where they are? Leonard softly asked in puzzlement. In his mind, Palazras rumphed. Items of that level aren't worth my notice. Leonard was just about to press further when his vision suddenly blurred. He saw the boundless gray-white fog and German Sparrow's blurry figure as well as his prayer. Amon had appeared at 39 Buckland Street, but there's only one. Amon had appeared. Only one? Easy. That's quickly. Leonard, who had already relaxed, retracted his feet immediately and sat straight up. It became more anxious than before as the punishment operation began. He hurriedly informed Palazros of Klein's words and asked, Old man, what do we do now? Begin the operation, but there's only one Amon avatar? Oh, it's gonna be good, dude. Palazros fell silent for 2 seconds before saying, if there's only one Amon, it implies that he had other motives, but none of the matter. In the fourth epoch, there's a saying, there's no point in crying over spilled milk. That's a really good saying. Since it has begun, we can't falter. If we delay this any further, Amon will attempt to influence the entire street. When that happens, he will definitely discover Dwayne Dance's abnormality. Oh shit, we're going to take him on right now. Klein returned to the real world and walked out of the bathroom. Cammy, it's time. Yes? Klein walked out. Klein walked out. He walked out. He walked out. He walked out. It's a rude harunf is a rude snort of the nose also? Really? We play it now, right? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it's fucking go time. Oh, it's go time. Okay, hold up. I'm rechanging stream name. I'm gonna just title Amon Fight. Let me put this in the beginning. In all caps. Amon Fight. This might be clickbait. I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna be clickbait. We'll find out. Whoa, OBS is acting up. Give me a sec. Oh, it's not acting up. I just have the overlay right here. All right, let me lower the volume a little bit on my end. Give me a sec, and then I'll adjust it for you guys. Because I can't have it too loud, because then it starts to hurt my ears. That's crazy. I have the volume at like 5%, and it's still really loud. So we can play this song, right? We just have to put the name of the song. I have to remember to do that. Just remind me. I have to make sure I put it in the last stream when we played it. And I have to put it in this stream. All right. Klein returned to the real world and walked out of the bathroom. All right, here we go. He had already made the corresponding. I'm gonna lower the volume down just a smidge for you guys, just a little bit more, just to have it kind of faint, and then we'll slowly raise it. Klein returned to the real world and walked out of the bathroom. He had already made the corresponding preparations. He had a creeping hunger on his left hand and an embedded card from his obsidian in his... Wait, on his left hand and an emerald card from obsidian in his right hand. Then he made Uni snap his fingers and use flame jump to enter 39 Buckland Street. Member Parliament Mach's house with the appearance of German Sparrow. Oh shit, it's go time. Control of the spirit body threads was instantly transferred to Klein, but this only seemed to sink into the vast ocean without any reaction. He had lost control of his marionette already? This Klein's eyelids twitched as he heard the door to the master bedroom creak open. It was Uni. This youth with the lowen and ballen blood in him had pushed open the door and walked in completely outside of Klein's control. He then took out the crystal molecule from his pocket watch and... Oh, shit! Wait! Amon got Uni! Wait! What the fuck? He then took... Wait. So, Uni has the molecule. The youth with the lowen and ballen blood in his hand pushed open the door and walked in completely outside of Klein's control. Oh, shit. He then took... Oh, I'm getting so lightheaded already. Wait. He then took out a crystal monocle. He took out one of these fucking bad boys. He took out a fucking crystal monocle from his pocket watch, rubbed it with his sleeve. He then leisurely wore it on his right eye. He then looked at Dwayne Dantes, the corner of his mouth curled up. I found you. Oh, shit. Oh, this is so hype. I found you. I got a tear in my eye. Holy shit. I fucking found you. The mood, oh, of course the mood is going to change after this fucking moment. The mood in the bedroom froze as Uni, who was pinching on the monocle, continued. Flora Jacobs' destiny was filled with too many abnormalities, and they mainly came from the street. This piqued my interest, and I spent some time to disguise and seek out the source. It took me some days to find you. What the fuck? Holy shit! Klein fell for his trap. Just like what we did just like what we did for the operation. Like the trap they set up, the trap they set up, we trapped them. This is the other way. The trap Klein set up was actually fucking Amon's trap this whole time. I'm prematurely fighting myself down. It took me so many days to find you. Oh shit, we're fucking cooked. I'm no stranger to this mirror and I can control it, but I've never seen it ingrate itself so much towards one person. Wait, what? Mirror? I'm no stranger to this mirror? Kalaz did say one avatar means danger. I'm sorry, wait. I am no stranger to this mirror. What? Are we talking about Best Girl? And I can't control it? But I've never seen it so integrate itself so much towards one person. This really is an interesting matter. Perhaps I should steal your destiny and see why that's the case. Oh, shit, dude. I should steal your destiny and see why that is the case. All right, you likely do not know of its origins. It's in no way simple. Oh, shit. What the fuck? How the fuck does he know a Rhodes? He knows Best Girl. Oh, shit, I'm losing my voice already. What the fuck is going on? Oh, this is good. I'm so mad I was going to end stream in 15 minutes, but we clearly have to keep going, right, guys? Shit. All right. Chapter 105. Oh, fourth movement. All right, let's do our timestamps and let's fucking keep reading this bitch. Wow, look at that. I just fucking pause stream with that. Oh my, that is so cool. We really did level up. By the way, man, I bought a stream key for Fear. I see it's like a 4-hour game. I might just play it on stream. On diddle the roads. What the fuck, Abby? Wait, what do you mean he diddled the roads? Wait, hold up. I know you explained the word right now. Let me go back. Let me just do my timestamp before I go back and read it. 58 seconds. Oh yeah, man, we clearly got to keep reading. Oh man, he diddled with his what? Oh shit, dude. What the fuck? What is going on, man? Palaz did say one avatar means danger. Imgratiate means trying to curry favor. Yes, he knows a rose. Amanda diddled a Rhodes, no? All right, let's keep reading. Let's find out what the fuck is going on. All right, let's find out just how fucking cooked we are, man. It's not that long a fight. You can finish it. All right, bet. Okay, we're good. Well, you guys did say I should read this together. Wow, I'm gonna lower the volume on my end just a little bit loud. Put it at 50 just so it's not loud. Just so I can, and I'm gonna raise it for you guys. Chapter 1005. Wow, we've come such a long way. It's called Fourth Movement. Wearing a monocle, a Mon who wore the appearance of Uni didn't seem like an infiltrator or an assailant. Instead, he appeared like a visitor as he eagerly mentioned all the preparations he had done as well as the road's origins. Oh, we're getting his origins. He paused before he could finish his sentence. Dwayne Dantes, opposite him, had turned into a dirty... Did he steal his fate? But it has to be a paper angel figurine. It has to be a paper figurine. Dwayne Dantes, opposite him, had turned into a dirty gray rat. The rat raised its right claw, pressed at its eye. What the fuck? At the same time, in the garden of 160 Bulkley Street, with a thin and cut, black-haired, brown-eyed face, Kermit Sparrow appeared in the middle. Oh, Dwayne Dantes is a Rhodes right now. Ah, a Rhodes is using Dwayne's appearance. That's why he brought him up. Back when Amon was saying something highly enticing, he had secretly split off a worm of time in an attempt to invade Klein's body. And in order to... Oh, man, this is going to be so hard to follow, huh? Oh, man, I'm so cooked. Oh, shit. Reading comprehension, Devil Strikes a Hand. Oh, wait, it hasn't struck yet. I'm just saying it might prematurely strike. Fuck, man, we're playing 3D chess here. Back when Amon, oh my god, I gotta find myself. Back when Amon was saying something highly enticing, he had secretly split off a worm of time, and you see, so this kind of proves that he's not unknowingly powerful. Like, it's kind of like an act, right? So when he was saying something highly enticing, he secretly, like, he still has to do things secretly and subtly to give off his all-knowingly powerful. He's still strong, don't get me wrong, but like, there has to be limitations to his avatars. Not just remember which guy got which ability and you'll follow. Bet. All right. He's a parasite. He can control a lot of people. There's a lot of secret shady shit going on in the shadows. Woo! I'm getting lightheaded. He had secretly split off a worm of time in an attempt to invade Klein's body in order to parasitize him. Got it. However, Klein had been on high alert the entire time. Got it. He detected that this attempt via the changes in his spirit body thread, so he rapidly created a marionette at the critical moment and swapped locations. Oh, yeah. The main host can switch with his marionettes. Oh, shit, dude, we're so good. This is being a marionette is such a fucking good counter. Klein would have been so dead. It's an avatar, so yeah, okay. Suddenly, Amon, who looked like a mixed-blood youth, appeared in front of Klein. Behind him, a 12-ring transparent worm. I'm getting so lightheaded. This is the actual antagonist, man. Oh, shit. Behind him, a 12-ring transparent worm fell from the 3rd story and returned to his body. And at that instant, I'm getting so lightheaded. Wow, I'm so lightheaded just thinking and reading about this guy. And at that instant, the earthworms in the garden soils, the insects in the woods, the rats in the shadows all crawled out, either swarming towards the German sparrow and Amon or were fleeing from this region. Wow, I'm lightheaded. The main reason why Klein had patiently listened to Amon was to use that time to create his marionettes. Oh, okay, so as he was stalling him. To Bizarre Sorcerer, they were only complete with their marionettes. Amon still wasn't in a rush to take action. He pinched the molecule embedded deep in his eye socket and looked around, saying with a smile, "Your actions often expose your problems to a master of deceit. Everything that you did was enough for me to detect your weakness." I had a burp. We really are playing 5D chess with each other. In such a tense and dangerous situation, you actually chose to convert rats, insects, birds, and earthworms into beings, your marionettes, without considering your servants. What does this tell me? It says that you have outstanding moral standards. You still view yourself as human and are unwilling. Oh, that's fucked up. It shows you that he doesn't want to harm others. You still view yourself as human and are unwilling to harm others. I outsmart your outsmarting. Literally, I outsmart your outsmarting. That's why I didn't like the fucking Mission Impossible movies. Well, the last 2 movies with the AI. Oh, you have to think outside of the AI. But maybe that's what the AI wants you to think, so you have to think the other way around, bro. But in this, it makes sense. No shade to Mission Impossible. I've watched all the movies since like I was a kid. I love them. But yeah, just that part was kind of funny. But this is really badass. This isn't funny. This is actually badass. You are unwilling to harm them. Upon grasping this point, even if my avatar is inferior to you, it's still easy to break you down. You wouldn't even be capable of dying even if you wish for it. Alright, you can stop your attempts at secretly controlling my spirit body threads. This is because you're controlling the spirit body threads that I stole. Wait, you can steal spirit body threads when you're trying to gain control? They belong to your butler, your maid, and your coachman. If this continues, I'm afraid you will feel a deep sense of guilt. No! Even spirit body threads can be stolen. What? No, it's more like grafting, so you can graft a spirit body thread. Klein's expressions froze slightly as he terminated his control of Amon's spirit body threads. He had been patient, allowing Amon to drone on with his trivial mainly doing so because he had secretly tried to turn Amon's avatar into his marionette. Bro, that'd be so badass if we turned him into our marionette. Bro, that's how Seer fights. Outsmart your. But I know that's how they fight, but like it's really hype in this series. It was kind of funny in Mission Impossible. Because up until that point, they've never really dealt with a villain like that. But in this one, it's really badass. All right, to a Bizarre Sorcerer, battles like this where he stalled for time and exerted his influence in secret should have been something he was best at and something he enjoyed the most. Unfortunately, he had encountered Blaster Ramon, the current pinnacle existence of the Marauder pathway. Holy shit. The current pinnacle existence. Oh my, that is such a badass line. the current pinnacle existence of the Marauder pathway. Even if he was only facing an avatar, he could do nothing about him. Klein actually suspected that Amon's words were a ruse, but he wasn't able to see through it. He didn't dare take the risk. Yeah, so it's a ruse, but you can't risk it. During such times, he needed to help the spectator. For you to say so much, I doubt it solely to think of the means to parasitize me. You should know that before severely injuring me, it's very difficult to parasitize a bizarre sorcerer who can see spirit body threads, Klein calmly said as he wore Gerbert Sparrow's face. Yo, said, bro. Wow, level 5, man. Thank you so much. Holy shit. Thank you, dude. This is so good. I don't know how we're supposed to combat this guy, bro. Bro, that was a W in chat right there, man. Thank you so much. Holy shit. I don't know how we fight this guy now. Amon immediately chortled. You finally noticed it. You're trying to steal my destiny. Klein swapped location with a marionette, once again constantly making his actual body appear in different corners of the garden. So he can't pinpoint the real body. No, Amon shrugged his head, keeping his hands in his pocket, while leisurely saying with a smile, if a magic mirror like a Rhodes is willing to listen to your instructions and deliberately integrate itself towards you, it means that you aren't as simple as I imagined. Oh, shit. He's the GOAT for you. Dude. You aren't as simple as I imagined. I'm not a beyonder of the tyrant pathway, so I don't be so rash as to directly steal your destiny. Okay, so he's reasonable. This is an actual reasonable development, so he's a reasonable antagonist, huh? I certainly have a feeling that directly replacing you would result in something I don't wish to see happening. Okay, this guy is a reasonable antagonist, so we can work with this. We can work with this guy. How did you know a Rhodes is integrating itself? Flora Jacob's destiny shouldn't have something like that. Klein appeared on the tree. Wasn't he in the room when Dwayne was like, oh, I like all type of women? Surely. His different marionettes continued changing their location on Amon. Dude, I'm out of breath, bro. Amon pulled out one hand and pinched his chin and said, didn't I say why? What the fuck? No, he didn't. Didn't I say why? I spent time to gather information to seek out the source. Oh, I went to the Church of Steam and had a chat with a Rhodes. He fucking spoke directly with a Rhodes. That was a Rhodes projection. It wasn't too frank, and it was willing to be tortured by me rather than reveal your true origins. Oh, shit, a Rhodes is the fucking GOAT. He was literally tortured for him. Unfortunately, that was inside the Church of the Steam. Otherwise, I would have directly parasitized it and learned of everything. Wait, we can parasitize a Rhodes now? What the fuck can't we parasitize at this point? Even living sealed artifacts can be parasitized. What the fuck, bro? If a Rhodes strictly abides by the rules based on its answers in the past, he isn't too surely of my actual situation. And only I'm so lightheaded, bro. Oh my goodness. Even living artifacts, I lost my place. Oh my god. Do you know? Oh, wait. I'm skipping too much. I'm all over the place. I gotta catch my place. A Rhodes to go. Give me a sec. I'm genuinely lightheaded. This is an engagement bait. I'm not trying to troll. Like, I'm actually lightheaded right now, dude. It's Guts looking at Griffith at Costco moment. Yo, man, that was a fucked up moment, man. If you guys have not read Berserk, and you're gonna read it, I warn you. Volume 13 is really fucked up. Ah, man. Even if living sealed artifacts can be parasitized, if a Rhodes strictly abides by the rules based on its answers in the past, he isn't too sure of my actual situation and only has certain guesses. Klein's eyes widened. Just as he was about to say something, he heard Amon's laughter say, you really don't seem to be in a rush. What are you waiting for? Do you not know that my pathway sequence 2 name is Trojan Horse of Dest? What? Do you not know that my pathway sequence 2's name is Trojan Horse of Destiny? I feel like Amon is stalling for time, just like with the last fucking demigod. Although I'm only an ordinary avatar, I do not have the powers that I can use, such as tinkering with your destiny. Wait, what? Making certain errors appear for certain periods of time. For instance, no one will notice it no matter how much you cry for help. Huh. That also means that even if you were to trigger the Evernight emblem in your hand, you would only be able to get the effects of concealment, and you would not be able to transmit your intentions of seeking help regardless of your prior agreements. We are so fucking cooked. Also, even if you were to shout for help or create an explosion, the pedestrians and servants in the room wouldn't be able to hear a thing. How are we supposed to fight this guy? This is the reason while I was talking so much, for an ordinary avatar, certain matters take actions. Oh, wait, we don't fight him. We join him. Or we give our allegiance to him, and we fight alongside him for the greater evil. Maybe? All right, it's your turn to answer my question. All right. Klein didn't answer as he kept switching position with his marionettes. However, Amon kept appearing in front of him as he continued. What the fuck? So as Klein is switching points, so as Klein is like zip-zapping across his different marionettes on the garden, Amon is matching him. Like, Amon is matching his aura. As he switches and finds him. Amon too scary? Damn. So, like, they keep switching. So, okay. All right. This is good. I'm following. I'm good. If we can't beat him, we join him. I think that's what happens. You also seem to be waiting. I skipped the line. All right. It's your turn to answer questions. Klein didn't answer as he kept switching positions. All right. At this moment, he made one of his marionettes ask, since you've already completed the controlling of destiny, why aren't you taking action? You also seem to be waiting. So, both are waiting. So, both are stalling for time. Before this, Gurman Sparrow was with a thin paper figurine, could finish the sentence. There was a strong gust of wind from afar. Leonard in the black trench coat and the black silver-haired cane in hand flew to Buckland Street. Oh shit, here we go. Klein, who had appeared on the Mon side, immediately said, "This is what I've been waiting for." As he said that, he triggered the Evernight emblem that he had been clasping tightly. Okay. Simultaneously, he snapped his left-hand fingers. I can't snap with my left finger. Igniting the tallest tree in the garden, making its scarlet flames appear soar into the sky. And this huge, obvious bonfire that would have been noticeable at a glance from across the street was noticed by no one. Be it the maids wiping the windows on the first floor, or the pedestrians strolling beneath the interspersal trees. Even in the mid-air, Leonard Mitchell ignored the scene, rushing from 39 Buckland Street at high speeds. And at this moment, Palazzo's slightly aged voice sounded in the red-gloved mind. Turned back, head to Unit 160. Bro, already folding? He's fucking folding quick, bro. Although Leonard was puzzled as his experienced self didn't ask why when it came to the supernatural matters, he immediately swung the direction of the world of the sea, pointed and changed directions. And the garden of 160 Buckland Street, Amon raised his head as he pressed the crystal molecule on his right hand, chuckling. This is also what I've been waiting for. He ignored Gurman Sparrow as his smile grew obvious. He continued speaking in an irresistible delight to be able to discover the abnormalities of fate in this region. It's him, Palaz. As he spoke, this blasphemer changed his actions and adjusted his molecule. At this moment, a strange gloom fell over the entire street. It was as though the entire place had been separated from reality, turning into a secret. I don't get how we fight this guy, bro. I don't know how we win. And the activity, like, if we can't beat him, we join him, dude. And the activity room of 39 Buckland Street, Hazel looked out of the window and muttered in puzzlement. It is about to rain. This wasn't anything important as she retracted her gaze and reached out her hand onto the 3-layered tray for high tea. Then she saw her father, Member of Parliament Mach, strangely open his right palm. Glimmers of light condensed out of thin air, forming into a... Wait, he has Mach? Glimmers of light condensed out of thin air, forming into a crystal molecule in his palm. So now, wait, so the molecule... The molecule actually can just form out of thin air. Glimmers of light condensed out of thin air, forming into a crystal molecule in his palm, and then he wears it. Mach then wore this molecule in his right hand. This, Hazel had already sensed something amiss as she frantically looked at the others in the room. Oh fuck, they're all wearing molecules. What a cruel punishment. Her mother, Ma'am Rihanna, took off the accessories on her nose and wore a monocle. What the fuck is going on? They wore a monocle that she had taken out from somewhere. The servant standing beside her all took out a similar monocle and wore it on their right eyes. What the fuck? Everybody. Thud. Oh shit. I scrolled down too much. Hazel stood up instinctively as she repeatedly... I cannot read now, bro. As she retreated repeatedly, toppling the chair over in the process. I feel so bad for Hazel right now. This sound alarmed everyone in the room. Mach, Rihanna, the servants turned their heads to look at Hazel. Bit by bit, a smile smuzzed the corners of her lips. Ah, that's fucking creepy. Hazel broke down as she let out a shrill scream. This is some Resident Evil ass shit right here. This is some fear material. Or this is some nightmare fuel. This scream passed through the house and through the garden, drawing the attention of the pedestrians on the street. At this point, Amon had already lowered his right hand from his molecule, looking at the figure in midair. He said with a smile, Palaz, it's already 1350 in the 15 of the 5th. Wait. He said with a smile, Palaz. Oh shit! He sensed Palaz. Palaz, it's already 1350 of the 5th epoch. The technique of relying on the gathering of avatars to raise one's level is already outdated. Behind him, Klein didn't waste any time as he reached into his pocket as though he was drawing a gun while he made creeping hunger turn transparent. A transparent book condensed... Okay, layman's travels. A transparent book condensed into oh my god, I cannot read. A transparent book condensed in front of him. However, Amon simply raised his hand and the glove vanished. He's your has-been, bro. Bro, I'm twitch. My body is so numb right now when I'm laughing. Wow, I am excited. Amon simply raised his hand and the glove vanished. However, along with the human skin glove's disappearance, German Sparrow also did. German Sparrow, I'm so lightheaded, bro. German Sparrow also did paw. Landing in Amon's palm wasn't a glove, but a rat. A rat lands in his hand. A rat that had died after becoming a marionette. Rats die? A marionette can die once they turn into one? On the other side of Amon, Klein, who wasn't wearing a hat but was wearing a shirt in the vest, appeared. He then threw out the item that he had previously taken out, and he threw it at his target. It was a paper crane. Bro, he already sensed Palaz earlier when Leonard came in. Bro, I just... Finale and ending. I don't know how we fight this guy, bro. Let's update and keep reading. Holy shit, I am so numb right now. I gotta shake it off. Every marionette are dead? What do you mean? All of them died? Well, so far just the one. And hold up, dude. I'm so numb. Give me a sec. Let me stand up and shake it off. I shake it out. You know what the song goes? I shake it out. Look, I'm not even joking. I'm excited right now. Look, it's so weird. It's like I'm so excited. You need to see the artworks on this. If there's artwork sent in my way, and we'll look at it right now. But I'm genuinely excited. I can't keep my hands straight. I keep shaking. I'm like convulsing on the inside right now. Oh man. Woo. Holy shit, this is a good fucking chapter. Timestamp. 1 hour. 21. Dude, I'm gasping for air over here. I'm tweaking out, bro. Oh man, I'm genuinely fucking tweaking out. I don't know why. I already know him, bro. I don't know why I'm acting like this right now. I'm losing control. The moment someone is turned into... Wait, hold up. The moment someone turns into a marionette, they die. Klein takes... I'm so dumb. Klein took over Amon's parasite, and that's why it died, because he took control of the avatar. I thought Amon made another avatar, but the rat just coincidentally died. So it's like maybe he was just too strong. Okay, got it. I'm a little all over the place right now. This is a little too exciting for me right now. This is a little too stimulating. I'm too excited right now, okay? Chapter 106 is called Finale and Ending. It was an ordinary paper crane. Bursting into scarlet red flames, just as it flew out, scattering ashes in the process, Amon, who had been looking up in the sky, suddenly turned his head and looked at the paper crane, who was a vessel of flames. He then raised his palm again. A cold... Let me just make sure we're recording. Yes, we're recording. A cold glint had lit up in his eyes beneath the monocle. Suddenly, the flames on the paper crane surface vanished. Klein and his ability to swap location with his marionette vanished. Likewise, for flame controlling, they just vanish? Suddenly, the flames on the paper crane surface vanished. Klein and his ability to swap locations with his marionette vanished. Likewise, for flame controlling, flaming jump and air cannon. So everything's gone. In that instant, he had 6 Beyonder powers stolen, 4 of which were rather important ones. A little fucking important. If Amon was able to make a few more thefts, then Klein might have even turned into an ordinary person. No fucking way Amon can steal, like, every single Beyonder ability, and then you're like a regular civilian. This was theft at the angel level. Amidst the I feel like you can just steal the Beyonder characteristics in and of itself, and then you're just a regular person. Wow, this was theft at the angel level. Amidst the extinguishing flames, the paper crane slowly floated. Backland Dr. Aaron... I have to keep my hands closed because I'm like too excited, bro. Backland Dr. Aaron's house in the black pram. Wrapped in silver silk, Will Osterton rubbed his... What is he gonna do now? Wrapped in silver silk, Will Osterton rubbed his mouth and eyes, grumbling, life is just so hard. So hard as a baby. Before he finished his sentence, he took out what looked like a cane from somewhere. It was embedded with clear gems. Pure bright light lit up, illuminated the... Wow, my hands are so numb right now, bro. I am so excited. Illuminated the calendar in the room clearly. Today was Tuesday. Damn, if only we read this on Tuesday, that would have been funny. would have been like a fourth wall breaking. 160 Buckland Street, inside Dwayne Dante's garden, the paper crane, which was already charred and incomplete, suddenly froze in midair. Complicated chrome-colored symbols appeared out of it, instantly taking out the form of a huge lunar scaleless snake. The dense patterns and symbols on the surface of that gigantic silver snake formed a wheel that was connected to each other. Around each wheel were different symbols. With a sweep of the cold, bright red eyes, the giant serpent soared into the sky and stayed above Buckland Street. It curled its body and bit its own tail. Its shadows blanketed the entire street like a mysterious and ludicrous wheel. Suddenly, Mosh Rian and several servants in the 39 Buckland Street activity room wiped the smiles from their face. They raised their hands in unison, taking off the monocle on their face, allowing the monocles to turn incorporeal in their hands before transforming into beams of light. Okay. Immediately following that, they wore their eye accessories once again and pinched their eye sockets. So they took it off, put it back on, and they pinched their eye sockets, either leisurely looking out the window, returning to their they actually pinch it, either leisurely looking out the window, returning to their former state. Hazel sat on the ground, watching the scene as she shook her head, feeling the world crumble around her. She used her hands to hold her body up while rapidly retreating. The cold glimmer and Winter Uni's eyes vanished. The crystalline monocle was left cooked. Left cooked. We're so fucking cooked. Reboot of Fate, baby. We're so fucking cooked. I lost my place. Where the word cook? The crystalline monocle was left cooked, and he no longer wore that supercilious look. In addition, something in his body seemed to be extracted as a clear, thick, but transparent and mysterious worm of time took form above his head. And amidst the concealment, this worm of time quickly transformed into a figure with black hair, black eyes, a broad forehead, and a thin face. This wasn't time reversing itself on Buckland Street, but because Klein and Leonard didn't suffer any of its effects, so they're good. It was Amon having his condition return to a few minutes. I'm lost. Wait. It was Amon having his conditions return to a few minutes prior to this, so everything gets undone. Snake of Fate reboot? Although you can just you can just reboot Fate. Am I following right? So he just reboot Klein's Fate. Bro, what the fuck are the what the fuck is this? I've never read anything this complicated, bro. He just reboot Fate. I'm telling you, man. I'm just used to like Luffy eating the Gum fruit, or like Naruto activating his chakra. We saw Ouroboros doing it once at the Cauldron reboot. Will rebooted Amon's actions. That sequence 1 angel, bro. I am not gonna be able to follow these fights in the future, man. I'm doing a seer divination, man. In the future, I'm gonna be so fucking lost. Like, wait, we're like, I can already see this. In the future, not anyone's else. Bro, in the future, this is what's gonna happen. I am so shaky and lightheaded. Oh, man, I love this series too much, man. It's crazy how it's been so long since I've been like this for series. In the future, we're going to be able to, like, reboot the reboot. You get me? If you know what I mean. Like somebody's gonna be able to, like, reboot somebody's reboot, and then, like, we unreboot the reboot. You know? You know, like, you know what I mean, right? Damn, Snake of Fate reboot. Although Will Ossipton had predicted that there wouldn't be some changes in Fate, things had happened slightly later. However, his influence that descended from afar came in such a timely fashion. In order to gain this Snake of Fate's help, Klein had not only fed him 5 different flavors of ice cream. No fucking way. He was not going to help him if he didn't give him 5 different flavors of ice cream. But he had also agreed to further compensation. And the outcome of their negotiation was that Klein had to think of the means to create at least 2 items that could allow Will Ossipton to briefly regain some of his strength while in his weakened state. When Amon suffered this unexpected blow, Klein didn't hesitate and drew Death Knell. He cocked it, gently pushed the cylinder, and aimed it at his enemy. Bang. He stately and deceivably pulled Death Knell's trigger, shooting out the control spirit bullet that he had long prepared. A black stream of light flashed out, striking the illusionary Amon figure with a sharp bonnet and classical black robe, the Worm of Time. This was even thicker and clearer than all of the Worms of Time Klein had previously seen before. so it's thicker and clearer. Okay. The light scattered as Amon's figure quivered in midair and froze without being able to wear any expression. And at this moment, Leonard, who had already arrived overhead, followed the old man's instructions, standing on the word of the sea. He floated in midair, slightly spread out his arms and relaxed his spare body. Both his green eyes immediately reflected a slightly gloomy 12-ring transparent worm of time in each one of them. I get an archangel to help me reboot Faye. You get ice cream? What I get versus what you get. This is a fair trade if you ask me. These two worms of time had their heads and tails connected together, forming a similar loop. As the loop slowly spun, they projected a huge ancient modeled illusion behind Leonard. This illusion looked like the surface of the wall clock carved from stone. There were 12 segments. Each segment was either grayish white or bluish black. They were clearly... Wait, I can't read. I'm going crazy. The basic courtesy? Basic courtesy. They were clearly demarcated? What is this word? Definition, one sec. Demarcated means set the boundaries or limit self.
They were clearly demarcated from each other.
They were clearly demarcated from each other, and the symbols were all different. With just one look, Klein had a feeling that life was speeding past him. Gong. What's with a bell gong? A bell gong that seemed to travel across time from ancient history resounded through the spacious secret world. Everything before Klein had seemed to slow down, including the Amon figure above Uni. There's clear lines between each of them. Yeah, they're not like the transparent rings. Yeah, they're not transparent rings. They're like clear. Wait, I'm sorry. Is this bell gong something Klein's doing, or is this bell gong something that Amon's doing? Or I don't know if that's a spoiler. Like, what the fuck is this bell gong? A bell gong that seemed to travel across time from ancient history resounded through the spacious secret world. Everything before Klein seemed to slow down, including the Amon figure from above. An indescribable invisible surge appeared, sweeping around the Amon figure before hurling it towards the huge ordinary stone-carved wall clock. What was actually Worm of Time, Amon's avatar with a monocle, suddenly extended a hand, aiming it at Grim and Sparrow. Suddenly, Klein saw the skin on the back of his hand rapidly dry up, as they wrinkled up, producing unobvious age spots. The speed at which Amon's illusionary figure was being pulled away slowed down, but the process couldn't be interpreted. Finally, it contracted it into the form of a ringed worm and was thrown towards the illusionary ancient stone-carved wall clock behind Leonard. Gong. I think that was Grandpa Palas. It's the projection of the worm in Leonard. There's clear line. Wait, so it's the projection of worms in Leonard, so Palat. I think that was the grandpa. Okay. A bell gong that seemed to travel across. We read this. An indescribable visible surge appeared, sweeping around the Amon figure before hurtling it towards that huge illusionary stone-carved wall clock. Let me read this part. What was actually Worm of Time, Amon's avatar with a monocle, suddenly extended a hand, aiming it at Grim and Sparrow. Suddenly, Klein saw the skin on the back of his hand rapidly dry up as they wrinkled up. Oh, he's sapping his time, producing unobvious age spots. Oh, and the underground cathedral, it all looked like they aged, and Klein speculated that Amon was able to sap their like life force for himself. The speed, it's like the time fall, man. It's like the time fall rain in fucking Death Stranding. Oh shit, Unk is bamboozled. Yo, what's up? Yo, dude, Unhinged, this is so fucking good right now. I am so fucking lightheaded today. The speed at which Amon's illusionary figure was being pulled away slowed down, but the process couldn't be interpreted. Finally, it contracted into the form of a ringed worm and was thrown towards the illusionary ancient stone-carved wall clock behind Leonard. Gong. Another bell gong sounded at the grayish white and bluish black clock's surface had an... Wait. A clock is appearing? I just caught that. Like a physical, tangible clock is appearing. Another bell gong sounded as a grayish white and bluish black gong clock's surface had an additional modeled hand. The hand quickly rotated a few segments, speeding up at the sound of the gongs. What the fuck is this ability? Palas made a projection of a stone clock. Thank you, Cami. So he made a projection of the stone clock tower that's absorbing Amon. Amon steals Klein's lifespan. I got that part. To try to resist it, but still gets absorbed by it in the end. Okay. Now I'm getting the... So the clock is like... What did I say? Did I not tell you earlier that we reach a point where we be like... unfating someone's fate. It's like what's going on here. We're sapping one's time, but we're like we're like overriding the sapping of time by sapping them back. Oh my god. Okay. I'm following this. I'm getting this. I didn't realize it was a big time. I thought it was just like a small clock. Okay, but it's like a big one. Okay. Whew. Wow, this is kind of it's hard to follow, but we're following. I think we're doing good. These fights are starting to get a little bit more complicated. I miss the good old days when he's like he just takes out his gun as a serum. Bah, he shoots him, you know? Okay. He used the connection. I lost my fucking place, but it's okay. If it was a spoiler, it's okay, Cammy. I didn't read it. I didn't read it yet. Inside 39 and 160 Vulcan Street, all kinds of resplendent glimmers of light flew out, pulled the attracted by the ancient illusionary stone carved wall clock. Right here. Illusionary stone carved wall clock. Law of beyond characteristics convergence. He had used the connection between an avatar and his higher level to strength. Oh, technically Palas would be a higher level. Got it. Since he's just an avatar. Higher level to strengthen the law beyond characteristics of convergence. Gong. Several streams of light from different spots in backland flew over. After everything calmed down, Klein's current appearance appeared in his mind. He had more white hair than black. Holy shit, he's looking old. His forehead and the corners of his mouth and eyes were covered with obvious wrinkles. His skin has sagged with several aged spots. He then looked like an elderly gentleman. Oh shit, it's only get harder to follow from here. No fucking way, it only gets harder from here, dude. I think it's because I'm excited reading this while I'm live. It's harder for me to follow. Like if I read this to myself, I think I'd be able to follow it more. That or I'm just capping. But wow, I don't know how it gets harder from here, bro. He had more white hair than black. His forehead and the corners of his mouth and eyes were covered with obvious wrinkles. His skin was sagged with several age spots. He looked like an elderly gentleman ready to pass away at any moment. At this moment, the clock's gonging sounded again. The grayish-white handle of the ancient illusionary stone-carved wall clock began spinning counterclockwise. 1 tick, 2 ticks, 3 ticks. Klein saw his skin rapidly recover its lustrous as the spots faded and vanished. In just seconds, he recovered his original appearance. Life had seemed to begin flowing in him again. Power at the angel level are almost godlike. I'm not ready for godlike fights. I only suffered some repercussions of it, and I nearly died of old age. I wonder if I can revive under such conditions? Yes. Klein observed his condition, and he hurriedly looked up and said to Leonardo Mitchell, "How should the people parasitized by Amon be rescued?" Oh, you can't. At this moment, the ancient illusionary clock behind Leonard rapidly faded away, turning into glimmers of light that drilled back into his body. Oh shit, and it goes back. So the glimmers of light. Oh, that makes sense. So just like the glimmers of light formed the molecule, the glimmers of light were able to form the illusionary clock, but then it gets sucked back into Leonard because technically Palas is in him. Okay, of light that drilled back into his body. Okay, so the glimmer of light is some... Okay, that's connected. Yo, bye. Is there somebody called Oni-chan? Wait, by Oni-chan? What were we saying by Oni-chan? By Unhinged? Oh. Did we just call Unhinged Oni-chan? Leonard cocked his head slightly as though he was listening to something. After a while, he said, "The beyond characteristics of the worm and time indent have been sucked out, so you can't use them. The remaining parts have either been absorbed or have some remnants left behind. However, it wouldn't result in having an excessive influence on them." Old Man had said that it wouldn't be excessive, but it might be from the viewpoint of an angel. In short, they can pry to the deities that they believe in and see if they can attain a complete purification. However, without them explaining what exactly happened, the deities might not give a response. If you're afraid of any remnant effects, you can consider guiding them to pray to that existence. All the items that come from that will be yours. Perhaps having personally experienced a battle at the angel level and having seen the snake of fate spectral form, Leonard agitated. The trembling could hardly be suppressed in an instant. The problem on this street are basically the believers of the goddess, so how can I get them to pray to the fool? I don't wish to be thrown into the foggy town. The goddess is very aware of this matter. They will likely receive a response if they were to pray to her. Then I can get her eminence Ariana to return to the worms of time that they coughed out to me. I can give her some as Klein's thought. Wait. There's a lot of hypotheticals here. The goddess is very aware of this matter. They will likely receive a response if they were to pray to her. Then I can get her eminence Ariana to return the worms of time that they coughed out to me. I can give her some. As Klein's thoughts raised, he secretly heaved a sigh of relief. He then asked in passing, will there be any side effects after a complete purification? Probably not. Although he had some experience from Little Sun, this youth of the City of Silver wasn't an ordinary person. After listening for a moment, Leonard said, a little as it's a deeper level parasitizing. Even if ordinary people were to experience a full recovery, there will be some level of influence left on them, such as them liking to wear monocles. I'm sorry, that's gonna be a side effect. They like, oh, I like wearing monocles now. Talking to Unhinged because he got little siblings. Ah, okay. All right, head back first. Leave the rest to me. Klein nodded and was glad that the parties involved in the battle weren't the kind with obvious destructive might. Otherwise, it might not only be Buckland City, but all of Northborough might not be left intact. In Pritz Harbor, a black-haired Oh shit, are we going back to Amon? In Pritz Harbor, a black-haired, black-eyed, thin-faced young man wearing a monocle rode on a bicycle as he leisurely returned home. That is such a weird image. Just Amon is riding a bike, going back home. He wore an obvious smile as he opened the letterbox and took out the newspapers and letter inside. Okay. After entering the house, the young man pinched the monocle on his right eye while tearing open the letters, reading their contents as he walked. This continued until he found the letter without any name on it. If all connection to us and Buckland is lost, us, his avatars? If all connection to us and Buckland is lost, it means that Palazaros might very well be hidden in the vicinity of Northborough, Buckland Street. Don't ask us why we're taking such risks. Life often requires some excitement, joy, and anticipation. And shadows. Sonny, what is going on? Who the fuck is writing Amon a letter? Is it no, it can't be Amon's own avatar. Unless when Amon was an avatar, he was able to like write himself a letter. And then Amon reads that even with our power consumed and he can't see, then he was still able to read that letter. Unless there's like a third party outside of Amon. What? Timestamp. 1 sec. Timestamp. Wow, look at that. I was able to pause that. That's crazy. 1 hour, 40. You guys got to send artwork. This is going to be our last chapter. I'm going to stop reading here. But I do want to look at the artwork before. I want to keep it. I want to see if I can just do 2-hour streams Monday to Friday. And then Saturday and Sunday, we wow, I'm stuttering. We keep streaming. Read Cammy comment? Okay. Okay, for our overall thoughts. Well, let me read what Cammy said first. Amon's avatar sent a letter. Oh, so I did figure. Okay, I figured that shit out. Thank you, Cammy. Thank you. I fucking knew that's what he did. So even with the power of concealment, if Amon was able to write himself a letter, he still knows. Wow. So we can't even like negate him because he can just write himself a letter if he doesn't know. So Amon avatar actually sent a letter to the main body before attacking because they felt Palas could beat them. I figured that out. Thank you for clarifying that, Cammy. But you see that? I wasn't lost. Amon is just that scary? Fuck, that is smart. Yeah, I forget. So an Amon avatar is basically at the demigod level, right? It said he can be like a sequence 5 to 4. And if he was able to graze enough Marauder pathway characteristics, then he'd be able to go to sequence 3 to 2. But because Palas has been around since like the 4th epoch, I assume he's higher than sequence 4, but under Amon. So Amon is higher than Palas, but Palas is still stronger than the avatars. And that's why he was able to sap himself. And because Amon was able to predetermine that, he wrote himself the letter just in case he lost. Modern solutions to modern problems. Dude, modern solutions to mystical fucking problems. Palas is Angel, so at least 2. Oh, you're right. I keep forgetting Angels is sequence 2. Got it. Yeah, I keep forgetting that. Man, I'm so lightheaded from this fucking chapter. There's artwork, right? Let me try opening Discord one more time. And if it doesn't work, I'm gonna just look at it in my phone so you guys won't be able to see it. Let me just see if Discord opens. It's not loading. It's not loading. It's not loading. Milo spam 600 a month artwork. Fuck yeah, we'll look at it. I'll look at it. I gotta look at Discord right here, so I do apologize. I do gotta look at Discord on my phone. Wait, hold up. What's with all the... I don't want... What's up with all the Johnny Sins things? There's like a different Johnny Sins. So I'm over here. Is this like Amon? He's a different person? Dude, man, Johnny Sins is my role model. He's like every fucking... He's like... He's done every career in life. Good for him. All right, let's look at artwork. What the fuck is going on, man? Whoa, whoa. There is so much artwork, bruh. We were talking about bald people. Oh. Oh, I didn't read it. So it's sent to the god of the bald people and people follow. Okay, that's pretty funny. I just started watching your reactions videos. I'm on chapter 116. No way. Don't worry. We just finished reading, so there's no spoilers. No way, me. Yo, I am happy that you're reading the series. That is so cool. Bro, you're actually almost done with volume 1. Yo, fucking congrats. Meet Your Doom plays. Dude, fucking congrats. Yo, thank you for watching and liking my reactions. That means a lot to me. Thank you, man. That means a lot. Thank you. All right, so I can't get Discord to work. So before I forget to do our video, all the Amon artwork, I'm looking at it on my phone. So pretty sure he read on his own. So no spoilers anyways. No, it's okay. Yeah, okay. Oh, yeah, no spoilers. That makes sense. You know what's the one thing I'm noticing? Amon has a lot of fucking crows in his artwork. That's the one thing I'm noticing. It's like Amon and crows are just like always together. Whoa, female Amon. Whoa. That one's a little spicy. Wow, there's wow. That one's pretty spicy. I mean, sorry, not spicy. That's a really nice artwork. I'm gonna save that one for myself. Wow. Dude, who the fuck is this guy? Oh man, all this art there's made. I saw it made Amon. Yeah, made Amon was pretty good. The spicy one was Amon in female form, laying down on a bed or pillow, whatever that is. It's Milosh sending the spicy. Wait, yes, wait, Milosh. I forget. Wait, don't say anything too spicy. We got to keep it PG-13. Artwork must be PG-13. I keep forgetting that. Spicy is technically PG-13. F Milosh stop spamming. No, he's not spamming. He's just excited. Nah, it's okay. That's not spamming. It's not spamming. We got all this crazy ass Amon lore. I think it's warranted. I think it's warranted for me to look at all this crazy ass shit now. Wow, man. Amon is wow. It's just like I don't know how we fight this guy. It's like I'm genuinely at a loss for words. I don't get it. I don't get it. It's like we're only up against an avatar, and even Klein was fucking sweating. And he's clearly sequence, bro. He sent like 3x more on Wiz's server. Oh, I should go on Wiz's server. Let's see his artwork. Was this recent? Oh, wait, no. Oh, shit. Comprehension double strike. No, I cannot be on his server. He's ahead of me. His artwork probably has spoilers. Okay, so whew, I caught myself. I'm out. I know. I caught myself. I caught myself. Oh, hell no. I know. I was already about to click on artwork. I was like, what the fuck? I'm stupid. What am I doing? I'm gonna get fucking spoiled. Massive spoiler. Big. There's gonna be like some crazy ass death scenes right there, like Klein dying or some shit. Don't want to see that. No. Because the more I'm reading it, the more I'm realizing it, I don't think Klein's gonna get a happy ending at the end of the series. Especially if there's a book too. There has to be some crazy, like, ambiguous, bittersweet ending or some crazy shit, man. Made me have a heart attack. Almost gave you guys a heart attack. I apologize. All right. I think we're gonna end it there. I'm gonna try and keep it to 2 hours. I'm gonna try and keep streams to 2 hours Monday to Fridays. I'm gonna do my best to do 2-hour streams. And when I can't do, I'll double check if it's cool to do like a short 1 hour off stream video if I can't do a 2-hour stream. Let me just try that this week and next week. I'm gonna be busy Saturday, but I should be free Monday, as long as there's no unplanned like thing with the missus. We do try and be a little spontaneous here and there. So, but if we're not spontaneous, then hey man, there's more streams. But we're gonna leave it there. So next week, we will be resuming with this next glorious chapter titled Dealing with the Aftermath. Okay. I don't even know what the title of this stream. Our first Amon fight? I don't know. I need to find some Amon artwork. But I'm going to let you guys go. Have a beautiful day. I will see you guys all tomorrow for more Lord of Mysteries. And I'll be honest, I was kind of lost reading this fight, but I was able to follow the whole sapping. If you're sapping him, we sap back. But then the whole physical representations kind of threw me off of like the clock tower. But then I figured it out and then I figured that part out before Cammy and all you guys helped, and D kind of helped clarify, and then okay, that kind of helped me out more. So thank you guys for helping me clarify these fights. I'll be honest, I'm gonna need some heavy hand holding in the future because I'm not gonna be able to follow this shit, especially when I get really lightheaded and I'm like gasping for air and I'm just too excited. It's kind of hard to follow. But then at the end, I did pick it up. And I did read the part. I did figure out that he sent himself the letter, even though he had the whole concealment thing and he wasn't able to figure it out. So he's like, oh, what better way to get past the whole concealment thing than to send myself back a letter? Did you read the author notes for this chapter? No, I did not. I am gonna end stream now though, Smokey. So we'll probably read that in the beginning of tomorrow's stream before we read chapter 1007, if that's cool with you guys. So if there's author notes, or if you have them, Smokey, just DM it to me on Discord, and we will go through it tomorrow. I got you guys. But until then, peace. Have a beautiful day. And if you see someone wearing a fucking monocule, you be careful. Oh, we can just read it right here, Smokey. Okay, thank you. Author notes: to make the plot run smoothly, the details of a tarot gathering was skipped. As for Will's prediction, a deviation happened because of Amon's ability to bore through fate. Oh, to make it more smoothly, we skipped the tarot gathering. So we skipped the whole operation gathering, but it was implied like, I remember Audrey's like, oh man, my first mission is gonna be crazy. I'm a little nervous. Okay, I don't get this part. Will's prediction, a deviation happened because of Amon's ability to bore through fate. This note was for this chapter here. Okay. All right. Yo, thank you for leaving that, Smokey. All right. Man, I gotta really digest, man. Will did warn Klein of a deviation of... Oh! Last time, Will did say, like, you will have a... What was it? You will have a change in fate either, like, Tuesday or Wednesday. And I think it was Tuesday, right? Today was Tuesday in this story? Okay, yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, okay, thank you guys for clarifying that. Wow, I forgot about that. This series must be so much better on reread, bro. Like, this 1,400 plus series must be so much better on reread. All right, well, point is, I am excited to collect this series for the next 10 years. And I swear, man, if there's a fucking hardcover deluxe edition, you bet your sweet jibby I'm gonna be collecting that bitch too. All right, guys, peace. Have a beautiful day. And look, I'm gonna hit stop record with my stream deck. Check it out, check it out. If all things work, we're gonna end stream with this button right here. I mean, end the recording, and then I have to manually. Oh wait, no, I can go here, and then end stream. Oh, it's gonna be so good. All right, peace. Have a beautiful, loving day. And if you see someone with a monocule, you run away like your life depends on it. All right, I'll see you guys out tomorrow. Have a beautiful and loving day, and beware of monocules. We stopped recording. Wow. Stream deck is the future. And this is a mini stream deck. My girl bought me a small one. All right, later, guys. Have a beautiful day. I'll be back tomorrow, okay? Later. I'm gonna play some video games later tonight if I have free time. I'm not sure. I don't want to ruin my sleep schedule so I can be consistent, go to the gym in the morning. But we'll see. Later, guys.